Benny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Hello and welcome to the Zedos Game podcast. I am your host, Joseph Buchanan. Joining me is Mr. Sach, man. How are you, Sach?
Yeah, I'm all good. How are you today, Joe? How's everyone?
I've got my internet back.
Hey.
That's it.
That's a start.
Yeah.
Kind of essential for a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These days, yeah.
Yeah.
And also joining us is Greg Marshall. How are you doing?
As well as one can be in the year 2020.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Yeah. If that's the worst thing that happens, then that's I'm glad that's working out. And also joining us is sorry, I already forgot your name.
Hurricane. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers. How are you? It's the first time we've met.
I'm great. I recently got a good internet back too. Because you see, I live, as you have seen with the previous podcasts, in the middle
forest.
Of the forest. And the dude that we went to see about the shit internet connection told me that the forest is stopping the internet because the trees are growing, motherfucker. I mean, I've never heard that one before. But
fucking
it's
trees.
Quite, yeah, interesting. So it's good to know that now I have an internet that's not affected by the growth of the trees. And, so it's all good. Hopefully we're going to have a good connection. I'm going to hear you well and you're hearing me well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Cut out there. What was that last bit?
I like you already.
So far, so good. Okay, let's get straight into it. And I'll hand it over to you, Sach. What's the first thing we're looking at?
Okay, first trailer we have is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. It's set in Chicago in 1927 during a recording session. Hang on, wait.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a period piece. It's by George C. Wolfe, who's like a Broadway director, and it's got Chadwick Boseman, Viola Davis, and a few others. And yeah, I think this is Chadwick's like last performance, like as an actor. The trailer looked all right. It looked really good, and
it's been released in theaters, right? For like a couple of weeks, as Netflix usually do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the standard. They're going to release it in a couple of select theaters, just so that if it does go for an Oscar nom, they fit the category basically. So yeah, and that's the same with the Amazon stuff as well. So
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, did you guys check out the trailer? What's your thoughts?
I like the idea of if they go for an Oscar. This has got Oscar bait written all over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, Viola not only is she's sort of true and senior and loving every bit, but she's almost unrecognizable. She's almost done like a Charlize Theron monster thing where it's very heavy on the makeup, and it took me a while to figure out who she was. My thing is, I saw the trailer and I was just overwhelmed by sadness because of Chadwick, and that was kind of my thing as I watched it, and then just was immediately saddened to think that this is the last time we'll see Chadwick Boseman in a new film. So, but despite that, it looks stunning. She looks very well shot. It's the cinematography and the set design and stuff looks very stunning. It's been well coloured and stuff. So, yeah, it looks like it could be fun. I know nothing of what it's based upon, but looks a good laugh. So.
Yes, likewise. I don't know. I mean, everyone knows about America in the 1920s. So, in terms of what was going on, in terms of segregation and what have you, and so it's about jazz, and so from where jazz came from to where what it eventually turned into. I guess that was the foreground of its progression, maybe, or acceptance into like a more of a mainstream, for mainstream audience, or that's what I got from it. It didn't give any too much explanation of what the actual struggle was of the story. I think it's mainly it had the Moulin Rouge vibe, or maybe that was just me that felt that. But it does look interesting. But in terms of its actual what the main piece of the story is, I'm not really. I didn't get that from the trailer.
I mean, well, I have to say I'm extremely excited about this one. I've seen the trailer, and I agree that maybe they didn't get the story across in the trailer, but I suppose this is because of who the person is that the movie is about. So they maybe thought that, a lot of people know the story, and so they don't really need anyone to tell it. But what I got from it, because I'm a singer myself, I mean, a few things. Well, first of all, it's going to be interesting for me because of the fact that I'm a singer too. So to see somebody recording that, is one of the first recordings ever made of, music. And also because it has Viola Davis in it. I love the fact that it has Viola Davis in it because I'm a huge fan of How to Get Away with Murder.
Ah, right. yeah.
So, I know that show. So I just think she's a brilliant actress, and I think you can already tell that she is in the trailer. So yeah, to me, it does look a little bit like an Oscar, type of film. As for Chadwick, obviously I get very emotional when we talk about him, so I'm not gonna talk about him. I'm just gonna say that what I've seen in the trailer was Chadwick that I have never seen before, and that's what I'm waiting for. Also, I'm not sure whether I've seen in the trailer that it's Denzel Washington who has produced the film.
He produced
Probably.
Yeah, the producer.
Yeah, so that's interesting to know. I think it might be good. I mean, it's definitely fucking going to be good. And the other reason why I found this quite interesting as a film is the process of recording music and recording songs. First of all, because as a singer, I know how it is to actually go and stand in front of a mic and record a piece of music and record a song. And, nowadays we have a completely different type of technology in comparison to what they've had. And if you listen to those records on YouTube, you'll see that it was mostly about just getting it out and about the raw emotion of the performance, where when you actually stand in the studio and you're recording songs, obviously this is still important, but it's not as free. It's kind of a little bit more, I wouldn't want to say artificial because it isn't, but
regimented.
Yeah, you kind of look at so many aspects of this recording, like where you should stand in front of the mic, about all the inches and everything else, and then you think about how you should produce those vocals, and the fact that you can even do it where somebody before didn't have a chance to do this. They had to just record the vocals and make it as captivating as possible. And obviously it's a different technology, but what I would love to see is that freedom with which this vocalist could have done it. And the idea that here we go, somebody who has done just singing on stage and live and now is, stood in front of a microphone and has to do this whole process of recording a song. I would just like to see this whole experience. And I think that for me, it's going to be probably brilliant. Mm-hmm. But obviously I don't want to jinx it. So, yeah, but I think it's, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my geeky shit about singing, all right?
Yeah, I guess. No, well, you're a singer, so I I appreciate the passion for it, and so Chadwick Boseman's last film. It's going to be interesting way to send him off. If this does get a next Oscar run, then you're going to see him in the memoriam. Then you're going to see him win an Oscar. Just like remember, I mean, this is where to connect to Heath Ledger, but I remember when Heath Ledger was nominated and then he won the Oscar, and then his parents had to do that whole thing. So I'm going too far beyond now, but just that next year is going to be a really interesting time for film and for actors. Chadwick Boseman hopefully may win an Oscar if his performance is up to point, and I guess Viola Davis is now a shoo-in for that as well. So we'll see.
Have any of you guys seen The Five Bloods?
No.
I haven't. It's on my list of things.
Yeah, I watched The Five Bloods, and Chadwick's in that, but he's not a prominent role. But when you watch that film, it's almost bittersweet because of what's happened to him, obviously. But I don't want to spoil it. I won't say anything. But what I will say, when it comes for Best Actor,
Got it on my Netflix.
When it comes for Best Actor this year, my honest opinion is Delroy Lindo steals the show in that film. He really does. And I've yet to see someone top Delroy Lindo, but Chadwick in this film is probably a good contender because he's always been very solid, especially if you looked at him in Get On Up and 42, which were his two big debuts, where people started to take notice of him. So it'll be very interesting because Delroy Lindo, like, he's an actor that's been around for years. I think he's mainly done TV in the past 20 years, but back in the 90s, he used to prop up in action movies such as Broken Arrow, Face Off. He was always like the black detective guy that was on the case. Get Shorty, he was one of the main characters in that. He was like one of the bad guys in Get Shorty with John Travolta. But yeah, he's like, I actually think The Five Bloods is probably his comeback film, to be quite honest. If he doesn't win it, I just hope he's in more films as an actor. But yeah, I think
he in Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yes, he's the officer of the stage.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was always in every film in the 90s. He'd just always show up. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
He's currently on TV now. He's in a show called the Good Fight. Like a law firm kind of thing. He's really good in that. So
well, he's always been solid, but when I watched The Five.
I was going to say, didn't he play an African general in the film Congo?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that would have been him.
Yeah,
that would have been him.
I'm not eating my banana bread.
Yeah, but no, he'd always show up in stuff, and he was always good. But like Five Bloods, I was like, whoa, okay, maybe he'll be back in films again. But we'll see. But I've always wondered where he was, if that makes sense, because he's just one of those actors of the 1990s and mid 80s that just disappeared.
He did.
Yeah,
I did. The first time I ever saw that guy was in Congo. And then I've kind of, he was like that supporting character in every other film.
Yeah,
also
right.
And that's all I've got to say on that.
Okay, so next up we have Raya and the Last Dragon by Disney Pixar. What did people think of that?
It's like Disney Indiana Jones, isn't it? The trailer seems to be.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually thought it was a little bit like a mix between Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Mortal Kombat, because this dude looked like Sub-Zero, man. He did. What?
No. I just I love your the way you've mixed all the genres together. Because it kind of it does have that feeling to it.
Yeah, it does. And I just thought, wow, it might be quite interesting. The character to me looks a little bit like the chick in the Star Wars. I mean, it was Star Wars.
Rey.
It had such a huge impact on me that I don't even remember her name.
Princess Leia, Rey.
I mean, I'm talking about the latest, all right? Rey. But like, I thought that she looked a little bit like this character, and then when she had this fight with the guy, looked like Mortal Kombat. The fight looked like a Mortal Kombat. You know, the other guy in the hat that can get the energy back and fashion him. What's his name?
Raiden, yeah.
What?
Raiden.
Okay, yeah, this dude. So I just, it's just like things that came to my mind straight away, and this. You know, there was a little bit of Mad Max in it. So I think Disney is starting to do something good with their princesses. So, yeah.
I think that they've been doing that for a while. I mean, it even says in the trailer, sort of from the you know, from the studio that brought you Moana and Frozen. And it's interesting they mentioned those two, not least because obviously they're very popular and they're modern ones, but they are really the push towards this new idea that, you know, very much the reinvention of girl power. We don't need to be propped up by a man. There doesn't need to be a prince in the story. We don't even necessarily need to be princesses. It's famous in Moana where she's going, I'm not a princess, I'm a chieftain's daughter. You're a princess. No, I'm not a princess. So, and it was this whole idea of, you know, we don't need a man, we don't need this. And this just seems to have been continuing in that vein, that it's very much about a strong female character. There doesn't seem to be a hint of a love interest. I don't think it's a problem if it is, but probably if it is not. It just seems to be very much a strong female character. She seems to be very Tomb Raider-y and of Oriental Tomb Raider as such. But yeah, I thought they've obviously got a strong female character. They've got a lovable little critter, although it was a lot more lovable at the beginning of the trailer than it was at the end.
Yeah,
but it was an awesome thing that this was the sort of an armadillo mount or whatever. It's just absolutely awesome as an idea. So yeah, no, I was very impressed with it. I love the idea of sort of, you know, learning more or sort of, you know, the target audience learning more about culture like they did with the Polynesian people from Moana, and this would be great for learning more about that. And considering the Mulan sort of live action thing has had mixed reviews, and God knows when it's being shown or not being shown, or if it has been shown, I can't even remember now. It's good that they've kind of returned to the cartoons and doing something different. Well, the only thing that I can't tell is obviously they've got a ongoing sort of, you know, music motif in the thing, which is quite catchy, and I'm already humming in my head. But there's no indication if it's actually going to be a musical, unlike the other ones. It doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
It better not be. No.
Yeah, I got the feeling of it's a big sense of adventure. It feels very more adventurous than how do I say? You just said it. What's it called? Mulan. Yes. In fact, I think they should have just done Mulan in CG animation instead of live action. They would have had a bit more control over it. They wouldn't have to appease any government. I think that this looks more entertaining than Mulan, by far. So I've not seen Mulan, but none of the trailers for Mulan sold me. It looked like what Disney usually do when they don't, when they're trying to appease everyone. So this is our thing. This is our live action thing of the thing that we did 10 years ago. But with this film, there's a sense of adventure, a little bit more sense of adventure, as you said, Indiana Jones, and Mortal Kombat, and there's a lot of genres mixed in there, and it looks good. I haven't, apart from the Pixar films, there aren't really any Disney films that I really get, that I raise an eyebrow to. So, oh, okay, yeah, this looks interesting. This looks good. I have a sense of imagination again about what I'm watching. It doesn't look like a formulaic made by a committee film. It looks like it's actually fun. So, yeah, I'll take my hats off to it. I hope it's released in the cinema, but if it's not, I guess it's a Disney Plus or whatever Disney do with it. Sach.
Yeah, I thought the trailer looked good. It's interesting to note that Kelly Marie Tran plays the lead in it.
Yeah, they said that she wasn't a while ago.
There's a Star Wars reference in there. I was wrong though. It's not a Disney Pixar. It's actually Disney Animation. So, yeah, it's in line with like Aladdin and Lion King and like
Tangled,
Moana,
Tangled,
and yeah.
I like
I
Tangled.
like Tangled. Tangled.
So do I. Tangled's amazing.
But yeah, moving on. The second trailer for Mank came out. For those that don't know, Mank is the new David Fincher film based on the movie based on the making of the movie Citizen Kane that Orson Welles directed. If you don't know the history of that, Orson Welles, he came off of radio doing War of the Worlds, which scared the nation basically, and had Americans start shooting at the sky because they thought aliens were actually invading the USA. And because of what he did for radio, I think it's RKO, I'm not too sure, but whoever the studio was, they literally gave him a blank check to direct Citizen Kane. I think Mank is the screenwriter of Citizen Kane, so it's literally about the making of that. And I could imagine I could imagine there'd be a lot of arguments that happened on the set of that, mainly because Orson Welles basically got to do whatever he wanted with that picture, and he shot it in a very unconventional way compared to what Hollywood was doing at the time. And even though the movie was a flop at the time, it's a classic now because Citizen Kane kind of revolutionized the way film's perceived and made to this very day, in terms of its cutting, the way stuff is shot, the way stuff is edited as well. And with that film in general, what Orson Welles would do, he'd film it in such a way where he'd force the editors to edit. There was no other option for the editor other than to edit what the director wanted into frame. So he was technically editing as he was directing the movie as well, which pissed off people at the studio and stuff, because they didn't have enough footage to change shit up or take the movie away from him, because he shot it in such a way that he had full control over that. So I could imagine him, I don't know whether this did happen, but I could imagine fights between him and the screenwriter, because Orson Welles got his way basically. And when the movie bombed, he basically owed the studio a lot of pictures. But then Orson Welles did a lot of good movies after Citizen Kane, whether he wanted to do them or not. They ended up being classics like The Third Man and stuff like that. So yeah,
I forget Transformers the movie.
Want to see. Yeah, and Transformers. But yeah, no, I'm kind of interested in it because, Citizen Kane's one of those films that you study at film school and when you're doing film and stuff. And I've seen it a good few times. I know the history of it. So seeing it from the screenwriter's point of view, that interests me. And Gary Oldman's fantastic anyway, you know what I mean? He doesn't do bad shit. So it's kind of cool. And it's a David Fincher film. And I like the way that it's shot as well, in the style of how movies were shot back then. So that kind of gives it its own kind of authenticity as a movie and stuff. And I totally see this is another one for the Oscars. So yeah, thoughts, guys?
My first thoughts were it was like the one that I have no idea what it was called now because it was a very long name, but Big Mama's something bottom or whatever, like that there seems all the trailers that we're looking at, honestly, I can't remember what its name was, but all
the first trailer,
all the trailers that we're looking at, bar the Disney one, all very much remind me of sort of like La La Land and that sort of thing. And this one seems very, very sort of traditional, sort of like old Hollywood, sort of the golden era as well. But then it seems to be harking back even further. This one reminds me more like The Artist, in the sense that A, they've shot it in black and white, and B, they're trying to sort of emulate the period pieces of those days. So they're not just going, well, we'll make it black and white for moody reasons. It's not Schindler's List. It's genuinely, as you say, it's been shot to make it look as if it was shot in the
in that era,
1940s. And I think that's fascinating. I think it's
absolutely
interesting. I want to see what they've done with that. And I knew nothing of the plot other than it has something to do with Orson Welles, because I could hear the Orson Welles sort of voiceover, his very iconic voice. And I went, so you must be something to do with Orson Welles. But yeah, I didn't know it was about the writer of Citizen Kane. You could tell that he was a writer called Mank, and Orson Welles was somehow involved. So, but But yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like it could be something very, very different and what have you. So,
Sora.
Yeah. Well, so my first, what you've said before about, it's kind of like an Oscar type of film, or a film that's aiming for Netflix trying to aim for an Oscar. I kind of had that feeling with it because obviously you have Gary Oldman in it. And the last performance that I've seen with Gary Oldman was,
when he played Dick Cheney.
The Churchill film. What's it called? Darkest Hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one that he actually got an Oscar for, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just thought, like, I loved the fact that it was made to look like it was shot a while ago, and I just thought this is great. I really like it. This is another film on the list that another trailer that I thought was going to just be a great film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for many reasons, but also for the fact that that I'm trying to write a script, and to see, I believe there was a line at some point when somebody's really criticizing what he wrote, or he gave someone something to read, and they said this is like completely not making any sense, whatever. And I just thought, sometimes this is how you write. Pretty much everything you write for the first time is like it. So from a perspective of somebody who would like to write a script, it's going to be interesting to watch as well. And but it looks definitely like something that is going to aim for an Oscar. To me, this is how it looked like. The way it was filmed, and as well as who's in it, and the story itself. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good one to watch.
Yeah, I guess that's got a cinema release as well towards the end. I was supposed to look that up, but I'm guessing all of this is the period for if a film's coming out at this period, it's lining up for an Oscar or a Golden Globe or BAFTA. Don't forget the BAFTAs.
I wanted to say, you guys are talking about these films, giving all this history and stuff, and I'm so glad. I'm really, really glad that you came up with this idea to have this podcast so that we can get Sash to tell us his little stories, because he sounds almost like a lecturer. He should be giving lectures about this stuff. This is very interesting.
There you go, Sash. There's an endorsement.
Like I'm in a cast room or something.
You've got an endorsement there.
Classroom, unfortunately.
I was gonna say, have you met Neil?
Oh
yeah, I mean, guys, seriously, every time I'm coming on here to talk about all these things, I mostly think I'm talking shit because I haven't got a clue. Not as much as you do. I mean,
no. Do you like film? Do you like film?
I love film.
There you go. You have no qualification needed. There's no qualification needed.
But when you have somebody so eloquently giving you a history before you even see the film, that kind of makes it quite intimidating in a way. Not that I'm intimidated by you, Sash. I'm not saying that. No.
Well, that would be a first.
Well, no, I'm joking. All right. Anyway, okay, I'm going to shut up now and let you speak.
I can't wait to make a clip out of that. That's gonna be tasty. Okay, well, what's next, Satch? I guess it's the next trailer.
Okay, next up, we have Sylvie's Love.
That's the one I couldn't see, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's directed by Eugene Ash, who did
Excuse me, guys.
a lot of episodes for Oz for HBO. He did a movie called Homecoming, and he's done quite a few documentaries. So yeah, and he's an actor as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, another Oscar contender thing. It's kind of like to be quite honest, I think it was more of a rom-com, to be quite honest. It looked more like a romantic kind of film to me. What stuck out for me was obviously when it was set and stuff, and showing the times of that era, because like the main lead, what's it, one of the main leads, he's like a musician or something, and he's going off to start his musical career kind of thing. And the other woman that he's fallen in love with likes, she starts working, and then I think she becomes like a TV producer or something. Yeah. So it looked very rom-commy. I'm interested because of like the time it was set, because you don't get that many rom-coms or love stories set in period piece. And yeah, I just want to see it just to learn more about the, you know, about the era as well, and seeing how race kind of is represented from that point of view, from the point of view of a rom-com. And that's kind of what makes it kind of original for me to be interested to go see it. I see it's an Amazon Studios film, so I'm assuming it's going to be on Amazon Prime pretty much very, very soon. But yeah, it's also getting a theatrical release, you know, again, because it's like for award seasons and stuff. So yeah. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I mean, I again just thought that it was very much, you know, it's that sort of La La Land-esque sort of vibe, in the sense that it was set a while ago. I mean, this one seemed to be very similar to the. I mean, I mentioned in La La Land a lot because they all seem to be sort of period pieces to an extent, not period as in sort of, you know, hundreds of years ago, but sort of, you know, taking a particular period that isn't our own at the moment. Not that you'd ever want to say anything in this particular period, but but this, I get the La La vibe because of this idea of, you know, our love story wouldn't have worked out and what have you, so we have to do our own things and our own career path. But it seems to hint at the fact that it goes full circle and they end up back together, that she has to choose her career. So what seemed to be a very, very soppy love story to begin with seems to be a lot more about sort of female empowerment and race, and, you know, sort of opportunities for someone of race and things like this. And so again, it looks fascinating. I think it's harking on, it's continuing this idea that, you know, films like sort of Green Book and Hidden Figures and all these things that have talked about women, or talked about sort of black women or black gentlemen, and how people have been sort of treated in certain sort of periods in history. And yeah, and they've done that one, put a rom-com sort of skin over the top of it. But yeah, so it looks very, very interesting. Again, a sort of good cast, but I'm intrigued to see how it is. But yeah, those, apart, as I said, apart from the Disney one, they all seem very, very similar. They all seem to be Oscar baity. They all seem to, they're set at a sort of a period, you know, sort of at least sort of like 50, 60 years ago, and then some. So they all seem like to be following a sort of a genre as such. I mean,
yeah, correct. We're vibing. I'm telling you, we're vibing, because I have taken some notes before this show, okay? And in those notes, well, I'm doing my homework. So,
you were meant to take notes. There was homework.
Okay, I can't prepare.
Or can I copy your notes after school?
Right. So listen, Greg. We're vibing because I said in my notes here that there is this trend in general in all these trailers, not maybe all except for the Disney one, maybe. But yeah, all these trailers we've seen so far, that they have that Oscar vibe about them. Maybe not the last one, but the one we're talking about. But what it does have is got this tendency to go back in time and pretend to be a film from that time. And I think maybe I would have been bought in a way, you know, seeing this trailer, because it seems interesting in many ways, and the stories and the characters seem to be interesting. But what put me off, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, and I probably shouldn't be saying that, because once I just make that YouTube channel that I have as a singer rolling, people are going to be saying shit about my music. But the music in this trailer sounded like it's from early 2000s or 50 fucking Shades of Grey. I'm sorry, but that's what put me off big time. And I just thought it's a shame, because it's the picture looks good, acting looks good, the characters seem to be interesting. I don't know, rom-com, yeah, there is something about that as well. And I don't really like this genre, not so much, no. But yeah, I could watch it if it wasn't for the music. Just
a lot of times in trailers, they use either, you know, if it's something where they have a score. They use temporary scores. So in fact, there was a trailer was looking at the last podcast, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the score from this film, and it happens quite often. And so maybe with music, they've put over, something that's going to get people's attention. Yeah.
But seriously, I just thought, I mean, if only you change the music for something maybe a little bit more classical, then it would kind of sit in where they want it to place it in time, rather than just having some kind of modern music that you can hear on the radio. I just wasn't buying that.
I can give you.
They're certainly screwing up their chances of getting all the Oscar buzz if they have lots of anachronistic music in there. It's very strange if suddenly you've got like Kanye West, but yeah. Hopefully that's not the case.
I might be able to give you a little insight into the trailer music. I've not seen the trailer, but my background is post-production. So the company I used to work for, we used to make trailers, and so usually all of those decisions are from the studio. So we need to make it like this one. So do that. So it takes all the when the editor hears that, the editor that I used to work with, he would just go, fucking hell, let me fucking do anything. He swore his head off. He loved being creative, and he every time he got undermined by the studio, you'd just see him outside smoking, drinking, swearing, because he couldn't do what he wanted to do creatively. I still talk to this guy, by the way. If Sach, you need to meet this guy. No, you really do. I think you get over him if he stops drinking half the time. But that's usually why.
Are you dissing me right now? Is that because I'm drinking? No.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've just got to open the door. I'll be back. Carry on.
Okay, next up, Jamie Foxx is to star as a vampire hunter in Netflix's Day Shift. Stunt coordinator at J.J. Perry, Fast and Furious and John Wick series, is to make his directorial debut. Jamie Foxx as a vampire hunter. What's your thoughts, Greg?
Well, it's straight away. I mean, it depends. Is it a modern thing, or is it going to be sort of like Van Helsing era? Because if it's Van Helsing era, I mean, Van Helsing was a terrible film, and most vampire hunter films of period of vampire things are just schlocky and sort of cheesy and terrible. And if it's modern era, then why not just wait for them to reboot Blade? With Marcella Ali. So I don't quite understand. So a black gentleman as a vampire hunter in in a contemporary setting, it's like it seems that they're just trying to slip in before sort of Marcella Ali does Blade again. So, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see if what spin they put on it, because if it's anything like the schlocky, really cheesy sort of crap of yore, which is all bad CGI and no substance, then I'm not interested. If it's going to be a Blade clone, then I'm not interested. But if they do something good with that, and Jamie Foxx is an excellent actor, then it's worth seeing. But yeah, until I know a little bit more about it, I'm not interested. If it's
looking at the Variety article, it's saying that it's a vampire comedy. Fox will portray a hardworking blue-collar dad who wants to provide a good life for his quick-witted 8-year-old daughter. His mundane San Fernando Valley pool cleaning job is a front for his real source of income, which is hunting and killing vampires.
Isn't that Blade?
Right.
That's what I said,
yeah.
Okay.
It is actually being written by the guys that wrote the John Wick series, and yeah, it's an action comedy.
I mean, if they do it correctly, I mean, horror and comedy do crossover. I mean, like the Babysitter and the Babysitter 2 things were good fun. There's the Attack the Block was awesome. There's all the Shaun of the Dead that kind of started a lot of the sort of like the rom-com and thing. And then we had recently there's Vampires versus Brooklyn or something like that. So
that was hilarious.
If you do it well, you do an excellent job. But if it's when it's unintentionally funny because the CGI is so bad or the acting's just cheesy, it's worrying. But yeah, and also it's is Jamie Foxx amazingly funny? I've mostly seen him in drama things. I've not seen him do comedy. I don't think. I'm trying to think, but
I mean, he used to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
And
what's the film where he played Motherfucker Jones?
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses. He was hilarious in that, man.
yeah.
That is a good film, actually. No, I haven't seen the second one.
what a character.
Saying that, you know what? I love him in Baby Driver. But mind you, I love Baby Driver. That is like one of my favorite films in recent years.
Kevin Spacey, right? You love Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Well,
you know what? I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
That's a tough one because
He's good in that film.
I did like Kevin Spacey. Well, you know what? I like his work.
I think you
separate the work from the individual.
Speaking open here, we're going to take this in a very different sort of turn.
We could, but we're not.
But no, I agree. I like Kevin Spacey's work, and I think it's possible to dislike a person for the shit they've done and still sort of appreciate their body of work. So
back on the Van Helsing thing, you know what? Van Helsing was a good idea, just executed poorly, man. Because you know what? I remember seeing the trailers for that film and like getting really hyped up for it. And when I saw the movie, I was like, for the exact same reasons you mentioned, Greg, like the overuse of CGI and just like shit that makes no sense. And
hopefully they've got, the stunt coordinator of John Wick. I mean, I can't help but think that he's looked at,
Well, he's the director. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm hoping, because wasn't it the John Wick director was previously a stunt coordinator and a stunt?
Yeah, that's correct.
So maybe he's seen that and going, I can do that as well. I can break out my balls. So I'm hoping that he's a good enough director. Obviously, he's seen his colleague do it, and if he's a stunt coordinator, then I at least admire the way they choreograph the fights in John Wick and things like that. It's it's long takes and actual skill rather than just 17 million cuts in a second that gives you sort of like fits and stuff. So I'm hoping it's that side of it will be good and the comedy's good, and if they get it right, I mean, the greatest vampire movie ever made is not Blade, is Lost Boys, and that has in it.
Lost Boys.
So Blade and Blade 2 are a close second, but Lost Boys is the greatest vampire movie ever made, and that's a comedy as well. So if it's done well, it's done well, and we'll wait to see. But I'm just hoping it's not just trying to sort of beat Marvel to the Blade franchise. Just go, well, we're going to basically do our own thing. So
I'm going to interject in this a little bit. When my big beef with Netflix is that they say yes to a lot of projects. I've said this in a lot of podcasts before. Their TV shows are better than their films. You can throw 100 films and maybe 2 of them will be good. The fact that they seem to have some talent involved. If this is an action comedy, then they may be able to take certain liberties with it. I just hope it's good. I really do. I've gone on record before saying that I just don't like Netflix films. That's my big issue, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
I think if it's more Vampires versus Brooklyns than Hubie Halloween, then that would be good. That's all I care.
Oh my god, I saw that.
I refuse to.
It's awful.
Of course it is. It's going to be awful. The moment he did his little Nicky voice and went, I'm like, fuck it, no, not a chance. I am not. You can't pay me to watch that.
Do you know what? Its redeeming features, its supporting cast. He's got a lot of his friends. Ray Liotta is actually quite good in that.
Ray Liotta is in that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he needed the money, clearly.
Leave Ray alone.
No, we love Ray Liotta,
and I kind of like Adam Sandler sometimes, but
Adam Sandler is so hit and miss. Again, that voice, it really does get annoying. It gets so annoying.
Anytime he does a voice, I can't deal with it. Wasn't it said that he kind of threatened that if I don't get at least an Oscar nod or some sort of recognition for Uncut Gems, I'll make another shit film. and then shortly after, Hubie Halloween came along, and it's like, Well, he's lived up to his promise. I mean, it's yeah, but I couldn't get past the trailer. It just irritated me. It's just like, you know, it's also a little bit offensive. I mean, you know. So
I mean, I would like to say it's a cash grab, but it's whatever.
He's got quite a lucrative deal with Netflix to churn out so many films straight to Netflix. So, but yeah, he's clearly not picky. He'll just make whatever they want really, because that looks awful. So, hopefully this film is more vampires and Lost Boys and things like that, and less Hubie Halloween and shit.
So, have you said anything yet?
I haven't, no. And I was going to say that I am excited for a vampire film because I've got a soft spot for vampires, except for the glittery one from Twilight. But other than that, I quite like vampires. So when I've heard that Jamie Foxx was gonna play in a vampire film, I didn't know at first that it was going to be a comedy. So I just thought, oh, wait a second. So they're probably going to kind of like make it bladey or a blade kind of thing. And so that straight came to my mind. And I've seen, as for the fact that it's Netflix who's making the film, I've seen Project Power with Jamie Foxx, which was the most recent, I think, of his films with Netflix. I wasn't that captivated by this particular picture, so I don't know what to say about this one. And it's going to be a comedy as well. I'm not sure whether I like vampires and comedy. So
you clearly need to see What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because that's amazing.
Okay.
It's a film and a television series.
You'd love it.
With. It's hilarious.
Possibly the best.
Don't get me wrong. The thing is that a lot of those films with vampires actually are quite funny. I mean, actually, maybe ridiculous is a better word. But yeah, they can make you laugh. So it's not like there is a lack of the element of comedy in the vampires movies. I don't think so. I think there is plenty of that, maybe unintentionally, but yeah, you can find quite a lot of it. But I was just sort of thinking, well, it would be an interesting thing. It's a strange mix, and you know, I'm not quite sure about those mixes sometimes. It's Netflix, it's Jamie Foxx with his amazing talent. And then there is the vampires, right? And then there is the this John Wick director, right? And I'm just thinking, well, that's kind of somebody woke up one day and just thought, oh, let's just make this shit happen. And so it's coming. And I don't know, maybe, and you know, the element of comedy in all of this is going to be, I suppose, the most interesting. I would like to see that, and maybe it's not going to be as bad as I have a feeling it will be. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be fantastic. I hope so. I really do, because I like vampires. I like Jamie Foxx, and yeah, and that's it.
How much wine have you had to drink?
I'm not even half a bottle yet, so it's
okay.
all right.
Okay.
Am I talking too much? Am I drunk?
No. I'm like monitoring from like it's been about 40 minutes
right.
now.
You know,
so
you
monitoring
know, you know, I've heard you like editing shit, so you better edit the shit out of it when it gets over a
Be coherent, please.
It's for all the clips of you just drinking, and that's it.
Okay, because otherwise I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your life. You can be
shit. Okay, fair enough. I'll segue straight into Sach. What's next, Sach?
Okay, next up, Adam Mckay. Adam Mckay's Don't Look Up has just signed Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, and Timothy Chalamet, who will be joining Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Himesh Patel, and Ariana Grande and Matthew Perry to the project. The movie's about a pair of astronauts that try to warn everyone on Earth that a giant meteor will destroy the planet in 6 months.
I've seen this film. It's called Armageddon.
Oh, right.
Or Deep Impact.
Or Deep Impact. Yeah, I remember that.
I tried to forget that, but
Oh, come on.
I don't know. Adam McKay, it's clearly going to be a comedy, I guess. So, yeah, I'm in. What are you guys thinking?
Well, I mean, I don't know much about it, but I just looked at that cast list and thought, oh my God, that's the most amazing ensemble cast of brilliantly talented people. And Ariana Grande. That has ever been.
She's coming after. She's coming after you.
I knew that you were going to be the one to give it to Ariana.
No, do you know what? Ariana Grande, she's got an amazing voice, but
yeah, she does.
Why is she going into acting? I mean, I'm not going to knock it because there's Lady Gaga in Star is Born.
American Horror Story.
Harry Styles in Dunkirk. Small but a well acted role. So yeah, I'm not going to presume that she's absolutely awful, but she started off sort of in acting in the Mickey Mouse Club thing, but we'll see how she goes. But yeah, the ensemble cast looks absolutely stunning. But yeah, it has Armageddon Deep Impact vibes. To that. It's sort of these sort of films are, cyclical, and it's come back again. That it's come back to that time. Although we normally have two of them come out at once, so I'm waiting for the next one that's coming out.
Well, I'm expecting this to be in the tone of like Step Brothers and Anchorman or the other guys. I mean, by the sounds of the premise and the fact that they've said it's a comedy. I mean, I know lately he's branched out, and Adam McKay has branched out into stuff like The Big Short and Vice, and what else did he do? He did that one with I can't remember the last thing he did, but he, he's been doing more kind of serious kind of movies, if you know what I mean. But I think this kind of, at first I thought it was going to be a serious kind of tone because of the talent, but then I read the synopsis and I'm like thinking this can't be like a serious film, can it? But then saying that, mine and Greg, we have a good friend called Veronica Bray, who's actually a scientist over at NASA, and these kind of things happened all the time. So maybe it could be a serious take with a bit of comedy on a day in our life of one of those guys that see one of these meteorites that are about to clash with Earth, or about to hit us, and they actually think it's going to hit, and maybe they're going crazy about it. I don't know.
Maybe it's about some serious astronauts who are worried about the genuine sort of life-ending event, total life sort of ending event of a meteor hitting. And maybe a president who's more cared about, can we create Space Force and weaponize this meteor somehow? Maybe we could fly it and use it against China or Russia, who are going to be trying to get onto the meteor as well. I mean, it doesn't sound, who
are you talking about?
Confirmed it is a comedy. I don't know. I mean, the cast doesn't make me automatically, as you say, the director, but the cast doesn't automatically make me go, well, it's clearly a comedy. I mean, sort of Timothy Chalamet and did you say Meryl Streep was in there and
Matthew Perry?
Matthew Perry and these, none of them make the thing. I mean, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see it. It's good to see people like Himesh Patel doing more things as well, who was excellent yesterday. So I want to see what the cast do. So
you know what, Himesh Patel is a success, man, because he's like straight from Albert Square on EastEnders playing Tamwa for like 10-15 years.
He's good in Tenant. He's really good in Tenant.
Oh, was he in Tenant?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, you've not seen it yet? Sorry.
No, I've not seen it. I didn't know that. Oh, that's awesome. Tamar's doing the business, man. Because you know what? He quit EastEnders, and apparently was that when he was saying why he quit was because he was writing his own stuff to write and direct, and also he wanted to tackle movies, but he wanted to try and do it himself. And I know that he wrote and directed a couple of short films, because I've not met him per se, but I was in an audience at Raindance Film Festival, and his short was shown at Raindance kind of thing. I was like, oh shit, that's the guy from EastEnders, and that's about as far as it was. And like, to see him go from doing his own stuff from a short filmmaker kind of level. I mean, yeah, sure, he already had the EastEnders fame, etc. But still, you know what I mean? Like, he literally built it, and like now he's in like proper big Hollywood films. There's not a lot of EastEnders cast up in Hollywood films, man.
I was about to say, EastEnders fames are very, you know, it's you know, outside of, you know, England, people don't know what Walford is, and you know,
that's right.
So yeah, I mean, I've over the years, I've got friends who have been in EastEnders. I actually dated a girl from EastEnders once. But
no way.
What's it? He dated the girl that was the vicar's
the vicar's daughter.
Yeah.
No fucking way. That's so cliched. I love it.
He dated the vicar's daughter from EastEnders.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you are such a blank page, Greg. Every time you're on, I learn something about you. Jesus Christ, what is this coming up to?
You know what? I actually forgot about that. I remember that now. Shit.
You were with me when I met her.
I know, right? Yeah, and I was like, "That's a girl from EastEnders."
I'm going to go chat to her.
Greg, I'm jealous. I need a cigarette. I'll be back.
Okay. You better be, Sora.
But no, I've you know, over the years, I've through theatre school and theatre stuff and what have you, I've known a lot of the cast and what have you, and I, you know, one of my friends from back in the theatre school days was in EastEnders for many years and stuff like that, and she's tried to break into more serious and dramatic acting. She's done some BBC stuff and period stuff and what have you, but she hasn't hit big in films and stuff yet. I mean, hopefully she will. She's very talented, but it's you know, it's tough. If you can, I mean, I can't think of many people who have transitioned from being in EastEnders to films. In fact, it often goes the other way. You've got like Danny Dyer and Bab Windsor and people like this who've kind of gone, we've done this now, but we've kind of, people aren't interested in that so much anymore. We're not getting the agents aren't, you know, the phone's not ringing off the hook with sort of film roles anymore, so we'll get a steady paycheck. So yeah, I had no idea. I haven't seen EastEnders for years, so it's amazing to see to hear that was in that.
Someone's escaped. Oh, the last person in EastEnders to do it, she left and she got the $6 million? No, the Bionic Woman she got, and that show got cancelled. And
oh, I know which one you're on about. I've forgotten her name.
One of the Slaters.
I know, it's one of the young
Slaters.
Yeah, that's right. And
so
she was in Five Four.
Daughter, it was Porter's sister. You know,
Yeah.
You're my daughter.
Mother.
Yes, I am. Yeah,
And then there was that other guy. There was the other guy that was in Pacific Rim, and he's in a lot of Del Toro movies. I forgot his name now.
Yeah, there was Sean Kaczynski.
That's the one.
So he missed his opportunity because he was originally Philly in Lord
for The Hobbit. Yeah, that's correct.
And he had to leave, and we don't quite know. Apparently, it was personal things. He wasn't fired that we know of. He had to leave, and they'd had to reshoot a lot of stuff and recast him. So I think, Pacific Rim was good, but I think he would have been a lot bigger had he
done The Hobbit. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he's maybe the exception in the sense that he's broken out into Hollywood a bit, but I think he kind of
because he was in True Blood, wasn't he?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Yeah, he was in the TV show True Blood, and then that's what caught the eye of Guillermo del Toro, and I think he's been in every Del Toro film since Pacific Rim.
Well, that
so
makes
like all three of them.
So I mean, this we was digressing, but then do we think that he did have personal things, or do we think his casting was kind of a
he probably. He probably did. I mean, like Peter Jackson would have kept the same actors because they would have been locked. So it's probably a personal thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because that's a big role to give up. You know what I mean? So it must have been some pretty, you know what I mean? I know he did come back to EastEnders like about a year and a half ago because like it was just a short stint kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he's still very much doing movies and stuff. But Himesh Patel was just someone I didn't think. I don't know what it was, but I just didn't think he would make it. But then when I saw him at the film festival, I was like, okay, he's actually pulling his finger out and actually doing it himself. And then it's really paid off because he was fantastic in Yesterday. And I think Yesterday...
Well, that's all I know him from. So, you know, I thought he was mostly a relative unknown. I didn't realise he was in EastEnders, so...
Yeah, so, Yesterday was kind of like his big break, really. And then... to find out he was in Tenet. I did not know that, but that's good. And then going on to this, he's in a big, massive cast there, man. That's really cool. So yeah, but still talking about EastEnders.
Yeah, I've heard.
Would you do EastEnders?
Do you know what? I mean, I only came across it when I was studying because our television and audiences lecturer told us to.
Oh, what an arsehole. What a fucking arsehole.
Not like it was just the analysis. Like, you know, we had to analyze all sorts of random shit. So EastEnders was one of them. But because I've never really watched it, and this is, you know, never really watched it as like never really was interested. I don't even know who's who or what this thing is all about.
Every week someone's chewing glass. That's all it is.
Okay. Right. Well, doesn't sound that entertaining, but anyway, as for this film, I know absolutely zero stuff about it except for what my notes say, and my notes say that I love catastrophic films, you know, when something's about to hit the planet or whatever. And you know, the fact that it's got a cast that's full of stars that are, you know, huge and amazing actors, I think that might be one of the things that will make it especially interesting to watch. However, the last thing that, I mean, the thing that came to my mind straight away when I've read a little bit about it was Contagion. Was it?
Oh, Contagion. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought, okay, that was full of stars, you know, and full of like the A-listers or whatever you call them, and
stars.
And I just thought, wow, you know, this is going to be amazing. And then I watched the film and I was really disappointed. I didn't think it was any better than anything that I have seen before. And then also another thing that came to my mind that sort of made me want to watch it is that if there's a thing coming to hit the planet and there's astronauts and there's going to space and all this kind of cool shit, then I'm up for it, because I've recently seen the Netflix TV series, Away. Have you seen this? Oh my God.
I saw one episode of it.
I love it. I'm in love with this. It's great. It's amazing. And so I hope that, you know, anything that is similar to it, I'm probably going to like.
Okay. So you like situational kind of like almost disaster movies, or I wouldn't call it a disaster movie, but you like something that's in space that has a complex situation that the cast has to get around, resolve.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What did you think of Interstellar?
Well, I've got it on my list to watch again.
Okay.
And so the first time I watched it, I just thought it's so incredibly, I mean, to me, it sounded like it's scientifically complex, right? So like if you read about the string theories and all the physics and all the metaphysics and shit like that, then this film becomes 10 times more interesting. But then you need to watch it like 3 times, I suppose. So I don't really want to say anything yet, because I think that the one time that I watched it wasn't in perfect kind of condition. So I'd like to rewatch it again and see whether I what I think about it.
You need to absorb it a bit more. You need more time with it.
Yeah, because it's not an easy film to watch. You know, it's not only about there's a drama. Like it's not like Gravity. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
More, yeah, there's more scientific shit in it that I quite like, so I don't mind. But then that's why I think it deserves a second and probably a third watch to fully appreciate everything that's in it.
So the question is, if you watch it 3 times and you're still not sort of, you know, sure on it, would you argue that it's just all right?
I could.
Little, see, he gets it. He gets the joke. He gets it.
Oh, God.
Well,
Greg, you're going to hell, man.
Maybe don't get your jokes, but we can work on that.
No, we can work on it.
We can work on that.
You'll get it. You'll
yeah.
You'll
I mean,
get
the
it.
last time people were joking on this show, it was about Liam Neeson or something, right?
That sounds dark. What was that about?
I can't remember, but I do remember something that a flashback just came to my head, but I can't remember exactly what we were joking
Was
about.
Leo was Leo there as well?
And he's up for it, even though he's like really fucking old now or something. And somebody just
I mean that's
old before he became an action star.
Yeah.
He's like, why the hell do you want me as an action star? I'm an old man, but he's just a dramatic actor that fluked his way into sort of like being an action star.
And you see, I was defending him because I quite like him.
I love Liam Neeson. I fucking love Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
He's just
and what I said was, if he wants to be a Tina Turner of action films, then he's allowed to, right?
I love that Tina Turner of action films. I like it. Oh, Satch, what's next?
Okay, so Stephen Daldry departs the Wicked movie, causing Universal to move it off the calendar as it was due for a 2020-21 release date. The reason for the split was because Daldry was not comfortable with moving forward as quickly as Universal wanted to for the project. So it was kind of an
harmonious.
I'm getting fucking tongue-tied.
It's all right, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it was a mutual split. Universal are in search now for a new director. J.J. Abrahams, James Marigold, Stephen Murphy, and Robert Marshall are all reportedly in the running for taking hold of the project next. How do you guys feel about there being a Wicked movie? And for those that don't know what Wicked is, because I've just said it like if everybody knows what it is, it's a musical based on The Wizard of Oz, but based on the Wicked Witch of the West point of view, I think it is. I think it's a sort of prequel. I've not seen it, but I've heard enough. But
the plot basically, it's a clever twist on what happens it reframes what happens in Wizard of Oz. So it is a prequel, and it then goes up to the timeline of the Wizard of Oz. So, but it's basically the premise. The premise, which is not a spoiler because everyone knows it's on the West End show, is the fact that the Wicked Witch of the West and Glinda were roommates in college. Okay, sort of enemies and then friends and stuff and what have you. And it's a clever little taste. I'm a massive fan of musicals. You know, I think as much as any heterosexual man in history has ever been. And I've seen Wicked twice in the West End. I love the music, and I'm really excited about this. I mean, a lot of people are sitting there going, you know, well, do musicals need to be turned into shows? And I'm like, I like Les Mis. It's not as good as seeing Les Mis in the West End, but why not? I mean, at the end of the day, when you know, theatre tickets cost an arm and a leg, and theatres aren't even showing stuff now anyway at the moment, so why not? And so yeah, I've been very excited about this. It will really lend itself to be turned into a musical. It's a shame Stephen Daldry's left though, because he's an excellent actor. I mean, he's trod both sides of the sense, in the sense that he did Billy Elliot the musical, the Billy Elliot the film, and then went on to
do the musical,
produce Billy Elliot the musical in both the West End and Broadway. But you know, since then, I mean, he's been quite busy doing The Crown, which is a couple of people have heard of. It's quite an impressive series. So yeah, so it's a shame he's moved away from it. I've been intrigued to see who does step in. As you said, Rob Marshall's got previous form with musicals, with like Chicago and things and stuff, so he might be a good choice. But then the story is really important in Wicked as well. So a more sort of less musically inclined director might do as good a job or a better job. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Steven Spielberg's doing West Side Story. So you know, and I think he's going to absolutely knock it out of the park. I don't sit there and go, well, he's never done a musical before. I sit there and go, Steven Spielberg, he can't put the foot wrong. God, it's amazing.
Can't wait to see that film.
So yeah, I'm just sad that it's delayed. You know, I can't wait to see. It's one of my really anticipated films is Wicked the musical. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. But if you do get a chance and it's your thing, I strongly suggest seeing it in the West End. It's got, obviously no spoilers, but it's got some great little twists and turns, and it's a good laugh. So.
Go on.
I have seen it in London. I got tickets to see it, and I quite enjoyed it. It was pretty interesting, and I love witches, so everything was all great for me. About the news that we're talking about, I've heard that he got pissed off with the faster timeline. That it was not enough time for him to make it the way he'd like it to, and then also about the fact that it was going to be, they wanted to shoot it in to film it in London, and there was some problem with the stage availability for it. I'm not sure what it was exactly, but then if something's sort of like your thing, your baby, and you're treating it very seriously and with a lot of passion and a lot of love, you basically want it to be the best that it can be, and you have this vision in your head, and obviously if you haven't got enough time to make this vision what you'd like it to be, then it's either you're going to make it shit and you're not going to be happy with it, or you're going to make it good, but it's not, you're not going to be happy with it, or you just quit. And I recently had a similar kind of experience with editing my video for the my first song that I put up on my YouTube channel. And it turned out that what they sent me, the edit of the video, was terrible, and I just didn't like it and wasn't really happy with it. I just thought it was completely shit and didn't tell any story. And I just asked them to send me all the footage, and I'm gonna work on it myself, not having any clue about how to use the editing software and all the rest of it. And I did, but what I've lost in the process is somebody to help me out with various things. And what I gained in the process is creative control and how you'd like it to look like. So I guess when you're working with a big sort of company like it's Paramount that they're working with, right?
Paramount. I think it might be. Let's have a look.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, you basically, when you work with someone as huge and you have all these deadlines and they impose all this stuff on you, and you're used to working in the theater when it's slightly different, then I guess you can get pissed off, especially if it's supposed to be the first film and it's a good musical and it's probably going to be an amazing film. But I don't blame him for getting pissed off, and I think that. This is what I'm kind of liking, the fact that there are so many of those services like Netflix or Disney Plus or Amazon and all the rest of it, because they got them. I know you said you don't like Netflix for the fact that they're saying yes to so many projects, but I do quite like them for it, because they're experimenting with stuff, and saying yes to so many projects kind of means that you get the best directors and the best talents, and you can you can afford to give them a chance to make it the way they would like it to look like. I know that this is not the reality of things, and I'm sure that Netflix has got their own gatekeepers who just stand there and say no to stuff, whether it's because of money or because of time or because of many different things. But at least people have that chance to maybe make it with a little bit more autonomy. And if you're used to making things that are being received live, then I guess this kind of emotion and organic sort of feeling is very important for you. So I don't blame him for leaving the project. It's a little bit, because if it's because of the timeline, then I definitely don't blame him, because I'd rather wait for it until 2025, but be sure that it's a masterpiece, because it deserves to be. That's all I need to say. Right.
Surely there's a bit of a cautionary tale about rushing musicals as of late.
I know where you're going with this.
Cats is kind of like is a cautionary tale of like, when you release a trailer when you haven't even finished the special effects, and it relies on the special effects. Although I think if you'd given them an extra couple of years, they would have only slightly more sort of put a sheen in the polishing of that turd, because, you know, I think they made some fundamentally shit choices at the very beginning. But it should be a cautionary tale of, like, musicals should not be, because people, you know, the like the comic book community or the Star Wars fandom or Star Trek fandom, you don't want to rush, you know. Guaranteed that theatre geeks or nerds, which I say in the highest possible, you know, esteem, because I am one myself and what have you, we're going to be picky as much as you know, any of the aforementioned. And so if you kind of screw it up, you know, you only get one chance at it, and then that's it. If you screw it up, it's crap. Whereas if you do it well, like Chicago, you know, when you can get the Oscars, you know, it's not just will it be, you know, a testament of time. If you cast it well and shoot it well, you know, you can be having a run of the Oscars. I don't think Wicked's going to be an Oscar sort of winning sort of film, but it could be absolutely brilliant and absolutely magical. But let's hope it's more like that and less like Cats. So
yeah. So La La Land was the last musical I think I watched, and I did enjoy that, but we're talking about different. I'll talk about this film. Wicked. I've not. I don't know much about it, but I would say that if he's left this project, there's either it must be creative differences or.
Yeah, definitely, man. I bet it is. But, you know, timeline for sure. I think that, you know, creative differences that are caused by the timeline, because to me, I think that maybe he just hasn't got enough time to get it up to scratch to what he wants it to be. And that's where the creative differences come in. And they maybe think, oh, you know, maybe we can put a fucking CGI on this or the other. And, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just going to be shite. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's just not used to it. Well, one way or another, it's you know, I suppose better that people just stay in their lane if they're not happy with each other, you know.
There's one other thing I'm going to add to this. You're going to see the standard of CG go down the toilet in the next few. If cinema is done in terms of its theatrical release, the standards of what you see in CG is going to go down the toilet because they won't be able to pay the talented CG artists to do the work that they're asking for. So you're gonna see really second rate work in the next few years coming down the pipeline. That's because budgets are going to change. I'm feeling it now. I'm a graphic designer, by the way. I'm feeling it now. My friend is feeling it. What they're offering you is nowhere near your rate, and I can see that it's going to happen to a lot of CG artists. They're going to either have to reduce their rate and work the hours that they normally work, and I see a funnel happening. There's going to be some films that are going to look amazing, and a lot that will look like from 20 years ago. But I'm interested to see what happens in that front. I don't know why I brought that up, but we were talking about CG.
That's why I did it, because it's interesting. That's what it's for. I'm interested.
Don't humour me, Cora. I know, I'm messing with you. Okay, what's next?
I was going to say, do you guys ever see the Sam Raimi Oz film that came out a few years ago?
See, yeah, I did. The Oz the Great and Powerful.
That's the one with James Franco.
I rewatched it a couple of months back, and it's okay. It's very. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. It was just kind of meh. It was all right. Had its moments, but the idea of Wicked is what they've done is they've kind of taken the idea of Wicked in the sense they're going, we're going to do it from the point of view of Oz, and we're going to do like a a clever twist on it. So that's Wicked. The story is like that, but just a better idea, better script, better story. I mean, that was good, but yeah, it was just a little bit.
I forgot you made that film.
That's kind of the point. That's probably the best review it's had for a while. It was all right. Greg said it was nah.
2-second review.
I forgot you made that film. There you go. That's about as good as you can get. At least it's not Cats.
Holy cow. Okay, let's move on. Willow. Yeah, Willow.
Willow is back on Disney Plus, apparently.
I literally found out this yesterday.
Yeah, they're doing a Willow sequel series for Disney Plus. I know this is a movie show, but you know, George Lucas and Willow was a fantasy film of the 1980s. It's getting a long-awaited sequel to some fans of the movie. It's being directed by John Chu. Is it John Chu?
John Chow.
Yeah, John On Chow, who did Now You See Me films, G.I. Joe, Retaliation, and Step Ups 2 and 3. He's most famous for his own TV show, which is the Legion of Extraordinary Dancers, which came out back in the early 2000s. It was like a YouTube series that became a TV show. Oh yeah, and let's not forget he also directed the classic that is Gem and the Holograms. Yeah,
that does not bode well for this.
I'll say this though, outside of the rubbish that he's done some stuff that's kind of serviceable, and you know, he's a serviceable director. That's what Willow needs, to be quite honest.
In that case, George Lucas is the best director in the world.
It all comes down to what Disney and Lucasfilm are doing and what the script's all about. Ron Howard is serving as executive producer, and I think he's directing the pilot, but Chu's directing the rest of the series. So at least, you know, Ron Howard's there to take what he did with the movie, set the tone of what the series is, and then Chu just runs with it. So you know what? I was never the biggest Willow fan. Like
it's a great film.
I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was cool. And then Fellowship of the Rings came out. I was like, Willow, what? You know, so
Fellowship of the Rings. What's that got to do with Willow?
A fantasy film. It just literally like.
Oh right, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it literally grabbed. I don't know. You know what it was? I always liked Legend.
You literally just think of a fantasy film with small people. Sizes, Sacha. Jesus.
I was more Legend with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry kind of guy. You know that you know, like
Legend was awesome.
Like Willow, I enjoyed. Val Kilmer was cool. If Val Kilmer comes back, I'm in. But I don't see that happening personally. But you know, maybe they might like squeeze him in like a cameo.
Val Kilmer's not going to sell me on this.
Yeah, that's just it. But it's good to see. It's good to see Warwick Davis is like front and at the forefront of the series, which is, you know, always cool because he's excellent. But I don't know, man. Thoughts on the Willow sequel? Are you a sequel series? Are you guys in? Is this what you've always wanted? I'm okay with it. I'm not like oh my god, this is the best shit since sliced bread. But
I'm gonna start because I haven't watched Willow before. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. I have read up about it online. and so all I wanted to say, my notes say that I should say that it's fantasy and I'm gonna love this shit. So that's all I've got to say. And then I need a little break, so I'll be back. And
get more wine. More wine.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
More wine. More wine.
I've got wine, dude. I made sure that I've got it next to me, so I don't need to worry about going anywhere. Okay. I just, I need to
do your thing.
Be saying that on the podcast. Should I be saying that I need a toilet? That's not.
That's all right. That's cool. If you need to leave, by all means, it's okay.
Okay. So you discuss your Willow. I'm sure it's. I mean, all it says in my notes is I'm gonna love it because this shit's fantasy. So
yeah.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Before I get to my thoughts on Willow, I'm more intrigued about exploring Sacha's clearly disdain for it, because
no, there's no disdain. There's no disdain.
It's not supposed to. You say that, but you know, in the introduction, you were like, you know, this is something that some fans have apparently called for, this and that. And I'd like to draw to the fact that I've seen your Facebook page and go, so apparently they're making a sequel to Willow that nobody's asked for, but they won't make fucking Judge Dredd.
And
So
that's a true
Are you
point.
sure it's got a little bit of disdain?
No. You know what? I don't have a problem with Willow. I'm just like
Disney need to make money.
I'm surprised, to be quite honest, because you know what? I know Warwick Davis has been talking about, we need to do with Willow too, and Val Kilmer as well. There was like a thing like 10 years ago where you had them together talking about the DVD, and they were like, we need a sequel. And I was like, they're begging for money. But at the same time, it's just never been a movie where I've been like, like a second one, maybe back then, but you know.
No, it's a great film. I've watched it recently. It's fucking great.
I watched Willow in the cinema when it came out and loved it, and then I didn't see it for years and years and years, and then I saw it when it came on Disney Plus. It is on Disney Plus, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It came on Disney Plus, and I got my daughter to watch it, and we enjoyed it, and I thought, is it great? It's just one of those. It's you know, it's full of heart. It's one of those 80s.
Yeah, it's a fun romp.
Like, you know, that it's got, you know, you look back and go, it's got like nice sort of story. And it's, you know, before George Lucas started fucking with his own things, as you said, Ron Howard's involved. And I think if they take, you know, if they kind of follow the idea of, you know, the lead from The Mandalorian and take George Lucas lore and put better writers in and people and expand it and do something in that universe, I think it could be great fun. I think it could be the equivalent of like a Hobbity type series or something fantasy-esque and what have you. And I think, you know, I like the idea that Warwick Davis is returning, that it is, you know, set many years later, so he'll probably have children that are farmers stroke wannabe sorcerers, or maybe he's now a powerful sorcerer or whatever. Who knows? I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Yeah, so am I.
As for Val Kilmer, his inclusion or non-inclusion is kind of don't really care either way. Val Kilmer's one of these people that was excellent, obviously, an early career. I thought he made a good Batman, then he brilliant in Heat, and then he did a whole load of shit. Then he was excellent in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is an awesome film, and then he was just shit again. And so, you know, there's not many things that Val Kilmer has done of late, but maybe he'd make a good old Mad Martigan, you know, rotund Mad Martigan. So who knows?
Yeah, I for one, I haven't seen Willow that many times, but I saw it once when I was a kid and once as an adult. And when you still love a film as an adult, it's worked. It's kind of worked without the nostalgia tinted glasses on. It visual effects wise, it's old, but it works. It just works. It's fun. It's really hard for fantasy to meld that type of fantasy. It's because it's fantasy, comedy, and adventure. That's a hard mix, as far as I'm concerned, and I got a lot from it. I've got plenty of time for it. I don't have Disney Plus, but if at some point I come across it, I'd love to see Willow again. I think it would be a nice palate cleanser to because Lord of the Rings is going to be on Amazon, and and you've got there's a Netflix show that they're doing. What's the Netflix show? Doesn't matter. But I don't have a problem with it. The only problem I have is the director, the directors of the series. Ron Howard is fine, but this guy doesn't fill me with any hope.
That said, I mean, I like the Don't See Me Now sort of. I like the two of those. They were quite good. I mean, all the stuff and Gem and the Holograms don't. But and I agree with Satch that obviously it pales into comparison compared to Lord of the Rings, because that just set the bench for fantasy and small people, sizist. Sort of like, but I mean, a good note for me is it reminds me of the only other film that I watched in the cinema, which would have come out a year or two or the same year or within a couple of years of that. I can't remember which way, but I remember going and seeing Willow and He-Man Master of the Universe.
Oh,
as kids.
right.
And then I watched them both as adults. And Willow, I was like, as you said, was like, oh, that stood the test of time. And He-Man, I was just like,
what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. Oh, no. So yeah, I think that, I think Willow's come out on top of that one. And
They remade He-Man recently. It's called Monster Hunter.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, you lost me there for 2 seconds. Just like, what? They remade He-Man.
See the previous podcast for my rant on that film. And how good it is.
Okay. What is next? Okay.
So next up, Aaron Sorkin would like to make a social network sequel. Yeah, after getting inspired by the 2019 book Zucked.
I swear to God, Sash, that you have been the author of the list of subjects that we have discussed, or we're still going to discuss today?
I usually am that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I must say, this is the first time that actually I like the list.
Are you a big Aaron Sorkin fan then?
I am.
There we go. Well, I put it on. That's why I got Greg in, because Greg's a huge Aaron Sorkin fan.
Oh, Greg, we are so vibing, aren't we? Jeez.
I'm telling you, I'm going to do a montage of Sora from the beginning to the end of the podcast with I hope you're not offended by anything I'm saying, Sora.
Not, darling. You're the sweetest thing of this show. Why would I be offended? I'm drunk enough not to be offended by anything or anyone.
Fantastic. Yeah. Nice soundbite.
I can't wait for this. I think anything that Aaron Sorkin does is absolute gold. He's my favorite, and probably considered the best screenwriter of certainly I'd argue all time. He's certainly, as a contemporary screenwriter, he's probably regarded, especially in his genre, sort of above anyone else. Be it TV or film, people are just tripping over to work with him. Every single director knows that you don't mess with Sorkin's script. If you're going to do it, you have to do it verbatim. The actors know they can't ad lib and this and that, but you don't, because it's such musical language. And the Social Network was absolutely awesome, but it did end. It ended with him, and it's like even though it was told in more modern times with the sort of the court stories, it really was just an origin story. And for me, this was like the sort of superhero film where I'm like, I want to see the rest of it. I want to see the court cases and the things and stuff, and I want the sequel. I certainly hope that, as much as I love Aaron Sorkin and I absolutely adore the man as a screenwriter, he's only directed 2 films, both of which were very good. The Trial of Chicago 7 I saw recently was absolutely excellent. Molly's Game was really, really excellent.
That's really good.
The Trial of the Chicago 7 was slightly less so, but I still enjoyed it. But that was mostly because a couple of the casting choices threw me. Sacha Baron Cohen, he had a weird ass American accent that threw me, and I still just look at him and go, Borat. And that's the issue. I can't take him seriously in that. But that said, I really enjoyed it. But I really hope, obviously one of the things that was a match made in heaven was Aaron Sorkin and David Fincher, and I really hope they get Fincher in to do the sequel if they do it as such. But even if he directed it himself, I think he's a competent director. He just hasn't really made his mark as a director and found his flair. He just knows that his script is good, and so he just shoots it. But yeah, I'd be intrigued to see who directs it and if David Fincher's going to be involved. But I'm all for it. But then, if he was offering to, a little bit later when I start taking the piss out of the Atomic the Tank Engine movie, if Aaron Sorkin was making that, I would watch that shit all day long. So I'm just saying that, there's nothing that man could do that I wouldn't absolutely watch and absolutely adore. In fact, West Wing's just turned up on all 4 so far.
Yeah. I saw that yesterday.
The proper ratio without having to sort of fuck about with my settings on my 4K TV to make this square thing look better on my. So I got the box set on DVD, but it was never done on Blu-ray because it was all standard definition, if that. So So yeah, so I've just started watching that again. So I've got 7 seasons of that. I'm 1.5 episodes in, which I paused to come do this. So.
Sorry, man.
Well, it's going to be a slog, but I'll do it.
Can I ask you something?
16th time in life. So.
Did Aaron Sorkin write Inherent Vice?
Right, what?
Inherent Vice.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I consider myself that he's written lots of things that he hasn't. Certainly earlier in life, obviously he wrote A Few Good Men as a play and what have you, and then that became a thing.
Inherent
Go for it.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
He's written some weird things. He wrote stuff like he wrote, was it Mimic or something like that? He's occasionally writes this random thing, and you go, oh, he wrote that, did he? But he's famous for his political things as well as his stories. But
the book's literally based about the serious damage Facebook and social media has had on society and how we could try to set out to stop it.
I mean, I'm intrigued to see if they're doing a sequel. Are they going to keep the same casting? I mean, Jesse
Eisenberg
as Mark Zuckerberg was genius casting, and he was brilliant. And I know sort of Saverin and sort of Justin Timberlake are going to be less involved in this one because it's now Zuckerberg's story. But yeah, I'd love it if it had the the same cast and David Fincher and Sorkin. It would just be the holy trinity of that film. I think it would be perfect. So
okay, all right. You're the I can't find the word now. You gave us everything on that. I don't really have much to say on that. I'll go with it. Does anyone else have anything to say?
Well, I mean, I obviously agree with everything that Greg has just said. I love Aaron Sorkin, and the first time that I actually had a chance to get to know this guy a little bit better was because I signed up for a masterclass with him, and he is an excellent teacher in my opinion, even though he thought he was going to be a shit one, but that's what every good teacher thinks. Anyway, he's amazing. He's amazing on so many levels, and I love his story and how he writes and how he teaches people how to write scripts. And I would be really happy to see. I haven't seen this new Netflix film, The Trial of the Seven, right? Is it?
The Chicago 7.
Yeah. So I haven't seen that yet, and I've got it on my list. And I've got it on my list precisely because it said Aaron Sorkin. and I just love the guy, and so I would love to see the sequel. But the first thing I thought when I've heard, there's going to be a sequel on this one, I just didn't know. Well, what exactly do you want to tell us in this sequel about Facebook? And then I realized, wait a fucking second, we have just realized that Facebook has got algorithms that are measuring the time that we are looking at the picture, and all this sort of really weird shit and the data collection stuff that is useful when they want to sell this to advertisers. And this is some hardcore shit, because if you think about the kind of information that Facebook has been getting from people, and they have been actually giving it to Facebook willingly. This is, information is power, and I'm not the first one to have said that. Knowledge is power is something that Bacon said, I think, right? Am I correct on that one? Anyway, yeah. So I think it's it's a big thing, and Facebook has become, since the film The Social Network came out, and before then, I'm not quite sure whether people have fully grasped at the time when this film was released what Facebook really has become. And now, when the social awareness of the fact that this much information has been gathered about the certain part of the population and can be then put into a profile, and there are various algorithms that are written and then updated and made better in order to gather more precise information about you as a person to sell your shit. And, you know, and the fact that the ethics of the whole procedure and, you know, and so many things that are culturally and socially and politically and economically important. I think that I don't blame Sorkin that he wants to write about it. And I think that if there is anybody who could write about it and make it worth your while and make people understand what this shit is all about, it's Aaron Sorkin. So I can't fucking wait. If anybody's going to give this guy a chance to write a script for a sequel, then I'll be happy to watch it. That's all I have to say.
That's well said. Very well said. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Garrick, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, I haven't read the Zucht book, but you know, one of the things they did really, really well in the original thing was the framing. It was kind of the origin story. It was the prequel to Facebook, what's going on Facebook, how it was created, all at the same time. It was framed around 2 court cases going on, so they were jumping between, you know, the times and stuff like this, and they could do something very, very similar with this in the sense that the Facebook Senate hearings would be fantastically dramatic and what have you to tell at the modern time, especially as you've got all these old gentlemen, you know, going, so when we do stuff on the interweb, doesn't... And
I saw that.
Just so embarrassing. So Sorkin's just going to have a field day going, well, you just can't make this shit up. So, and Mark Zuckerberg having to, it's like explaining to your granddad, you know, that he can do a little bit more than play Snake on his phone now, or that, you know, he doesn't need to use landline anymore. And it's like that. And so you've got that side of it, and then obviously you can explore it. And I think Aaron Sorkin would be very good at not making it too preachy, not making it, well, you know, this is he should be quite good at being balanced and what have you. Because what was amazing about The Social Network is Mark Zuckerberg, you know, as you know, the way he screwed his friends over was an absolute cock. He was a bit of a dick the way he did that. And yet you watch that film and you go, but we like him. He's a likable dick because he is intelligent. And when people are going, you know, are you giving us all your attention? And he goes, no, you're getting the bare minimum of my attention that you need at this particular moment. You kind of go, actually, that was quite a zinger, and fair enough. You know, he's kind of like the Sheldon of the real world. Being likable, and so that's a, you know, a feat in writing in its own right to make you know, a fairly abhorrent character actually really likable, regardless if the real Mark Zuckerberg is like this. But you know, I'm
pretty sure he's worse.
Smoke without fire, is there, so.
Yeah. Where there's no smoke, there's no fire. What an odd remark. So you two are huge Aaron Sorkin fans, clearly. If Aaron Sorkin,
really?
if Aaron Sorkin made a Star Wars film, how would that go? Do you think?
I mean,
sorry, I was scared of the idea of Aaron Sorkin making a Star Wars film. I've got a fucking spider on my.
I've noticed. I've been there the whole time.
And I'm real scared of them fuckers. I don't know what to do now. We're gonna have to stop the show.
No, we've got a new show. We're fine.
This is not funny, guys.
I can make a whole other show out of this episode.
Oh my god. Okay. How the fuck am I supposed to sit here now with a spider over my head?
Ignore it.
I'm not.
It can't harm you.
I'm arachnophobic, and this shit's disgusting.
Take a laptop outside and sit outside.
No, maybe I should leave this show. I mean, I'm gonna be killing the spider. You better cut this shit out of the show.
Why are you gonna kill the spider? Poor thing.
Oh, come on!
This. I want you to imagine that Aaron Sorkin is writing this amazing story about Jimmy the Spider, who's been living for 5 years in blissful with his human roommate, and then one day his roommate kills him. Imagine that story.
Shit. Right, this is not funny, okay? This is not funny.
You're very wrong about that, but...
I swear to God.
It's amazing how subjective
humor is. I'm supposed to go now, not to be got by a fucking spider. What is this shit? Why now? Seriously. Okay. Stop laughing.
Okay, sorry.
We are not. We're laughing at Sach. Because Sach is being very nonchalant. Sach is.
I'm having an argument with Ken about
I'm going to try and be
Jesus Christ.
now. I'm going to try and be professional, and I'm going to try and finish the show even though there is a fucking spider just above my head.
Get more drunk.
So you get on with it.
You'll care less when you're more inebriated.
I can see the fear on your face. It's you're just like, oh my god. Is it a big spider? Small spider?
It's fucking big.
Okay, all right.
It's really big.
What's his name?
Every one of them is big.
Can we add the spider to the credits?
No, please let's not put this in the show. I don't want to look like a fucking pussy because I'm scared of spiders.
So you're giving me too much content. You're giving me too much gold here.
You've got a Tree of Woe episode right there.
Oh yeah.
Boys, I'm begging you.
What's
it's
that?
Moving across.
What's the next on the list? A retrospective look at the anniversary of Arachnophobia.
Oh, definitely. We should definitely do that. Let's talk about it now.
I'm not going to be on that one. I'm not coming, Sash. No matter what you're going to do or say, I'm not coming for that one. Look, I just, in every single fantasy film that I watch, there's always spiders. In The Lord of the Rings, in Harry Potter, there were spiders. I had to watch it like this. I don't like watching like this, for my fingers. But I have to do this because I find it absolutely disgusting and makes me sick. This sound of it when they make it on this. I don't know how they make it.
Imagine how your roommate feels. He watches it and goes, "Okay, this is misrepresentation. This is not what we like." Okay. You don't try to kill anyone. Okay, we live in the UK. We're harmless.
Okay, I'm only not killing this spider because I'm trying to be politically correct. We shouldn't be killing anything that lives. However,
Spider life matters.
It's disgusting.
I mean, I think that spider would it would kill you in a second if you gave it a chance. I'm joking. I'm so joking.
You don't have to spend the rest of the podcast with me in a toilet, right? Because this is where I'm gonna lock myself. I don't know.
Daddy Longlegs, if they were scaled up, are one of the most venomous creatures on the planet. They just can't pierce human skin, so you're fine.
Moving on.
You should see her face. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Moving on, we have Smokey and the Bandit gets a TV reboot.
Oh my
Danny
God.
McBride and Seth MacFarlane. Thoughts, guys? The Bandit rides again without Reynolds. Obviously,
I mean, well. I wouldn't watch it with the person I would have as that guy or as a look alike. Yeah, would be the guy that was in Game of Thrones. He was the Mount. It was the episode of Snake in the Mountain, and he was the guy that got his head smushed in. I forgot his name. I forgot that actor's
Pablo
name.
Pascal from The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking.
Yeah. He's if you put a moustache on him, he looks like Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I could see him as Burt Reynolds.
You could easily pull it off. He was. Did you see Kingsman 2?
Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah. He looked exactly like Burt Reynolds.
He does look like Burt Reynolds, yeah.
Boom! There you go. Done.
But then are you trying to make someone look like Burt Reynolds? I mean, Burt Reynolds was great, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess not. That's just wishful thinking.
When I first seen this on the list that you've made, here's my homework, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't know, no, what's the title?
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, I know, no fucking Smokey, no Bandit either. I was like, who is this? And then I realized that when I was a kid, I watched this and I absolutely loved it. But he was calling the girl Froggy or Frog, some shit, when they were translating it to Polish, because you see, I'm from Poland. So when I never ever knew the English title of this film. So, when you put that on the list, I had no clue what it was, right? I only knew the Polish title of the film. And it was also when I was like 9 or something, which is not so long ago. Anyway,
What's the Polish? Does it translate as Smokey and the Bandit, or is it one of these really weird ones where it's not? Is it going to be something weird, like sort of like Misty and the Thief?
No, it was quite weird. No, it was quite weird.
Misty and the Thief.
Well, you know, sometimes things get lost in translation.
No, but that's a great title.
Wait, I have to like check it out because now I don't really remember. But all I remember is that he was calling her Froggy or Frog, some shit around that, like a nickname for a frog, basically, which was not very. It's like, you know how you call girls darling, baby, all this sort of shit in English. So it's in Polish, you can just basically call them a frog.
So your version of "all right, love," oi frog.
Yeah, no, I know. It's weird. Anyway, so I've seen this when I was a child, and I loved this. I loved the cars they were driving. It was a race, from what I remember. And, you know, and a love story on top of this. So before I was very badly disappointed by males and I believed in true romance and all that kind of shit, that was like a perfect fucking romance story for me. It was, you know, not only you sitting on a fast car with a dude, he's, you know, I know why the fuck would I say that now, but he was kind of handsome then. And
yeah, he's a good looking guy.
Yeah, and so but a 9-year-old hasn't got a very good taste in men. Anyway, I was thinking he was quite a handsome human being, quite a good-looking guy, and I just thought, oh, this is a perfect, you know, sort of like, I preferred this to any of the princess and a prince kind of stories, and all the, you know, romantic or any sort of comedies or romance bullshit. I just found this one to be quite entertaining, and I love this one, so I would like to see it, and maybe I will like it as much as I like the original with Burt Reynolds.
Well, yeah, hopefully. Yeah, Burt Reynolds, yeah. Seth MacFarlane, I pause over because I've always found him. I don't hate him, but there's 3 of his shows that I don't like. I won't say what they are, but I think
now we want to know.
I won't say because I'll annoy a lot of people, but I think
I like to point out how I don't think Quentin Tarantino's all that, and knowing it pisses off everyone that ever comes on this podcast. So I don't give a shit.
No, I don't mind that you. Yeah, I don't mind at all. Okay, so I don't like Family Guy because he saw The Simpsons and said, "I'm going to do that as well." I don't like Cleveland because he said, "I'm going to do exactly what I'm going to do exactly what Matt Groening's doing." And just do something slightly different. So I have issue with how talented he actually is. That space show he has is good. Apart from that, I don't have much to say about him. I know a lot of people like him. I don't. So I don't really have his name being attached to Smokey and the Bandit doesn't give me any. Cool.
What about Danny McBride though?
Yeah, I love Danny McBride. He's cool. If he's writing it, that's amazing. If this is again Seth MacFarlane, if no one else has done the show yet or done a show similar, then he can't copy it.
I'm like leave it alone. I'm like leave it alone, guys, man. Smokey and the Bandit had his time. He had his day.
Every show's had its time, and every show gets rebooted.
Say that.
Oh, so what?
I agree, though. That's the thing.
You just ageist. That's what it is.
I liked Seth MacFarlane.
Guys, to get 70, if you want to get some action, then I bet. Hell.
There's not been a good remake of these shows. You know, the Starsky and the Hutch thing was just a bit shit, and they just don't need to be remade. You know, Dukes of Hazzard was cringy, and
Woof.
it's like,
that was bad.
Why make them? I mean, the A-Team movie was sort of all right, even though I absolutely love the A-Team. So, I mean, to me, that's still shit, even though it was actually a passable film, except from...
it wasn't bad.
I actually quite like the A-Team.
I like the film, but I just love the series so much that it doesn't need to be touched. And I like Seth MacFarlane. Don't get me wrong, like you, I think American Dad and Cleveland Show are massively inferior to Family Guy. I like Family Guy, and I like Simpsons. I know one begat the other, but I still like them. A lot of people, I like Ted. I like A Million Ways to Die in the West, and a lot of people hate that one. I really like Orville because I think it's kind of Discovery started off very dark as a Star Trek thing, and Orville had more of the tone of the original sort of series.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
And it was really good, and you know, so much so that I like that. But no, I just don't think it needs to be made. Like Sacha says, I just think it's been done. Why are we always trying to remake everything? I mean, there are certain things that I would watch remade, like Knight Rider would work with if it's done well with because of the idea of futuristic car anyway. Maybe even Airwolf was good. I even saw the remake of MacGyver with that young dude in it. He was quite good, and that was passable. But they've done there's a series that's very sort of like CSI Bonesy, and it's got like a young MacGyver in his team. And it's not near as good as the original MacGyver, but yeah, Smokey in the back.
Yeah, you can't beat the original MacGyver. No way.
No, exactly. Yeah, I just don't see the point of it. But then, I would have argued, that you didn't need to remake Battlestar Galactica, and they did a fantastic job of that. So, who knows?
And they will again.
Yeah,
they will again.
Sorry, was that? Come on.
I'm saying that if you look at everything on this list, a majority of those films that were sort of, portraying the days or years or people from a different time, it's pretty much a remake. Or what they're trying to kind of achieve by showing you that kind of picture is remaking the certain reality that happened a long time ago. So, if it's done well, nobody minds. If it looks like an Oscar type of film, nobody minds. But a little bit of a guilty pleasure for a girl, then you start being bitches,
I think something set in a previous, in a different period in history isn't a remake per se. I disagree. I think that those sort of things are one thing. I just don't see the point of remake. I've got a feeling that a lot of the people who like Seth MacFarlane's sort of humor and stuff are going to be a lot younger than the people who watch Smokey and the Bandit. So there's going to be a bit of disparity in ages. I mean, I think maybe, myself and you might be the sort of people who like both and would be fine with that. But it's a very small Venn diagram crossover of people who probably watch Seth MacFarlane type shows and watched original Smokey things, mostly because of
I hope that it's going to be an amazing TV series, and then we're going to talk about it then when it's amazing TV. You'll see. Sounds great.
Do you know what? So you are a very funny lady. You have a sense of comedy about you, especially when you're drinking wine. That's
secret. You always need to send me a case of wine before every podcast. Then
fantastic.
Yeah. No, me too as well. I'd like it.
Okay, cool. You got some wine. You got some wine. You got some.
There you go.
Okay. What were we actually talking? Oh, yeah, Smoking the Bandit. Okay.
Smoking the Bandit.
Okay, what's next?
Mark Forster, World War Z, Quantum of Solace, and Christopher Robin is set to direct the Thomas and Friends movie based on the Thomas the Tank Engine IP.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man, don't knock. Back in the 80s and 90s, that got me through a lot of shit. So,
look.
It made me like trains.
I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, does Mark Forster need money? I mean, I know World War Z and Quantum of Solace were bad films, but Christopher Robin was really good, and he's done some really good stuff, like The Boy in the Pajamas. I think he did that as well.
That film is dark.
Did he do the boy in the striped pajamas?
Yeah, he did the boy in the striped
That's
pajamas.
a dark film. Dark.
Make
dark.
Thomas like that, and then I'd watch that.
Oh my god!
Isn't there one where they punish one of the engines by bricking it up in a tunnel? Make
Yeah,
it
that
like
was-
that. Make that story. There is one. I kid you not. Google that.
No,
Are you sure?
are. That was
They
that was
literally-
Henry. That was Gordon. Gordon, the engine, gets stuck in the. I remember this shit when I was.
They basically
Yeah,
retired
man.
him, and they just decided to literally brick him up. Okay, and you could basically see his face disappearing as they permanently brick him into a tunnel to die. And then
Jesus
they
Christ!
decide against it. It's fucked up. Seriously, look at that shit. Make that one with like a real bleak boy in the striped pajamas ending and stuff like that. And,
The shows we used to get as a kid.
I'm getting confused. No, it wasn't that movie. He did the Kite Runner.
The Kite Runner. That's still a
Yeah,
good.
he
That's
also
that's a really good movie.
He also did Monsters Ball, Finding Neverland, Stranger Than Fiction, the Ewan McGregor movie called Stay. He's done quite a few all right movies, and
he's departing out of his his comfort zone to do Thomas the Tank.
Yeah, I mean, he fucked up with Quantum of Solace in my book, and Machine Gun Preacher was all right for an action movie, and that's completely out of his ballpark from his previous filmography. But World War Z, I thought, was turd, and Christopher.
No, World War Z is good. They saved that film. They saved that film. That film could have been a lot worse, and I enjoyed it. It was very enjoyable.
I'm glad you liked it, Joe. I thought it sucked, but I won't go into it again. That's a long story.
Who are they making this film for? I mean, Thomas is great for kids. I mean, if they made a Peppa Pig live action film or a Teletubbies, I mean, the Teletubbies would be all the students.
You okay, Cora?
Now, bust out the edibles, dudes. We're going back to this shit. We're going to relive our youth. But anything
You're right.
else? Anything else?
Sorry. Miscommunication there. So, what? Sorry, Greg. What did you say?
I said, short of a Teletubbies film where the students can, bust out their edibles and go there. There's I don't want to see a Peppa Pig film or a In the Night Garden film or a Thomas the Tank Engine film. These are who are they aiming for? Are they really going to get? Or are they going to make it slightly more gritty and realistic? Is Thomas going to be a badass engine, which is just going to piss off all the youngsters?
No,
and the parents of the
he gets up and walks.
Yeah.
You know what I think?
They're going to do Transformers.
I think it's a cash grab.
The British cartoon or something.
Sorry, Cora, what was that?
No, that apparently this is like a favorite or some sort of a legendary British cartoon. I have no clue. I feel zero about Thomas the Train and his friends too. I have absolutely nothing to say about this subject.
Solid gold.
This was the only thing on the list, Sach, that I just couldn't fucking understand why it's even on there.
I just put it on for this exact reaction. That's why.
Well, no,
But that as well as I'm just shocked that the director of Quantum of Solace and Machine Gun Preacher is doing a Thomas the Tank movie. It just completely makes me go, does he need money? Is he doing it for the money?
I mean, do you do it?
Is he director jail? I mean, like, I know I said I didn't like World War Z, but like, surely he can get a job, right?
Yeah, he's got one.
For trains and talking trains and shit like that, maybe he just has a vision for it. You don't know. I mean, we're not gonna know until we see it. I'm sure not going to fucking see it.
You don't know that. You don't know that. That might be the film of 2021 for you.
Yeah, a lot of people say that to me. And anyway,
to me, this just sounds like a joke. It sounds like the sort of thing that at like 3 o'clock in the morning, when you're pissed out of your skull or high as a kite, you go, imagine if Eli Roth made a Peppa Pig film. How fucked up would that be? Imagine Quentin Tarantino's Teletubbies and that's,
oh, that'd be amazing.
Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue, Mr. Purple.
You're dropping some really good ideas here. Like, I would love.
But that's how fucked up this sounds.
In Teletubbies, I would love to see that. It would be at least fucking funny. But this shit, I really don't understand what's funny about a fucking train that's got a face. I mean, that's all I gathered from the article and the pictures. I'm not really. It's just like, where's the story here? What the fuck has the train ever done to like be this?
Goes places. He pulls a truck occasionally. He helps someone on the tracks, and that's about it. Stars play a guy called So one of the Beatles plays the Fat Controller. It gets more fucked up. It's just...
And actually, the more you say, he was the narrator of the show. I want to see this. If everything is exactly the way it was 30 years ago, I'll watch that. I'll definitely watch that.
Also, if they make it a real life train and then they put his smiley face in it, that's going to be fucking freakier than any of the Cats in Cats. That's going to be, oh my god, we don't like that shit. That's just going to be so...
A blue face with eyes on it. Blue circle, sorry, with eyes on it.
Blue train.
The quality of the... Like, how are you making it interesting? It's just a fucking story for kids. Let's just leave it at that, right?
It's
be happy with the little cartoons. I don't need to fucking watch it or waste time and money for it. Huh?
You're giving me gold here, Cora. You're giving me such gold.
Yeah. Right. You're cutting out half of this stuff. This is what editing is. Okay, remember, we've had a deal before we started that.
We did?
And by the way, I almost finished my bottle, and you were supposed to be making sure I'm not going to go over the limit, right? So...
there's no way for me to enforce that. With the wine glass just coming up into shot there. That was amazing.
There isn't. You're right.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I will face judgment when I see the first trailer. I know Alec Baldwin was in a Thomas the Tank Engine film maybe 15 years ago. That was pretty bad, but you don't know. You just don't know. You don't know. It could be.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be a fucking masterpiece.
Let's just
wait and see.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, Amazon Studios pays Paramount Pictures for the Regina King's One Night in Miami movie, which is expected to be an Oscar contender. The film is about one night where icons Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and James Brown discuss their roles in the civil rights movement and cultural upheaval of the 1960s. I saw a clip of this because obviously it was. I know they just bought it off of Paramount, but I think originally it was like playing at festivals and stuff, and they had like whenever you have like a low budget indie film, they'll do like a trailer, but it's not done by a proper studio. Kind of like one we reviewed one which was kind of like that a few podcasts back. I think you were there, Greg. But what they did with this trailer for the film festival is one scene from the movie, and it looks really intense, man. Definitely looks like a conversation kind of film where you're just getting all these great actors like literally just acting the shit there. I think it's going to be one to watch, and I quite want to see it. And it'll be interesting to see what Regina King does with it. I mean, I know she's an actress and has been in a lot of films and TV shows and stuff. She's directed before, but mainly television shows. This is her first film as a director, so that'll be interesting to see what she brings to the table. And by the looks of it, by the one clip I've seen, she's bringing everything when it comes. It's very much like an actor's film, if that makes sense, giving off good performances and stuff. And I think that's going to do her wonder for her career as a director if it does make the Oscars. So, yeah.
So, excuse my ignorance because I know very little about this, but is this based on a book which is fictional, or is it actually based on?
It's based on an event.
Happened. So, did these four people get? Because it sounds like you say, when they say if you could have a dinner party and have four guests, who would you have?
Yeah.
I'll have Stephen Fry, Shakespeare, Aaron Sorkin, and Quentin Tarantino, I don't know, but the whole point, so was this an actual, obviously the timing fits, but was this an actual meeting where they all met together and actually chatted then?
I can't tell you that.
Or is it a fictional idea based on the fact that they were of the same sort of era?
Let me just find that out for you. I don't know off the top of my head.
Either
One
way,
second,
it
guys.
sounds Oscar baity.
Yeah.
And like they're clearly trying to win all the Oscars with this one.
Yeah, I can't really see anything on whether it's actually based on a real event. It could be that. It could be everything you just said there.
Yeah, it certainly sounds interesting. It sounds like it's trying to, like a lot of the films that are on today's list, it's going to try to be like the news, slightly period, Black Lives Matter, sort of Green Book-esque sort of, sort of Oscar bait and stuff. But
I think it comes down to the fact with what's going on with the pandemic and stuff, a lot of the festival circuit films are getting a lot more recognition than they normally would amongst all the bigger budget stuff and all the stuff that goes straight into the theaters, because they've already been made, they've already been sold at film festivals and stuff, and studios are picking them up like hot fire because they need content to fill over the next couple of years. So when I was doing the trailers, funnily enough, I had like about 9 trailers, and there are more now. So I split them up. I split up the list, and that's what we got. So I guess maybe it wasn't an uneven split, but we'll see.
When I've seen the trailer for this, I just that the thing that came to my mind straight away was Carnage by Roman Polanski with Kate Winslet, Christopher Waltz. Have you seen this film? Jodie Foster.
Oh no, I've not seen that one. No.
What's it called?
Okay, Carnage.
Oh, is that the Roman Polanski film?
It is, yes.
Right.
So, so that's came straight to my mind because, this is the type of a film that, at least I get a feeling from a trailer that's going to be shot in, in one sort of place, studio, whatever room, where what's most important is the personalities of the characters, the dialogue between them. And I quite like this type of film. So I would like to see it, especially that the personalities that, the people who are involved, people like Muhammad Ali, who I absolutely love because I just love boxing, I guess.
Oh, okay, you're a boxer fan.
And so I like a lot of kind of weird things. Anyway.
That's not weird.
It's
just not spiders.
But, you know what? I was just being relaxed, right? And you just have to remind me about that fucking spider. I think I killed it like a while ago, but I'm not.
We have a homicide on this podcast.
I haven't seen the body, so there's no homicide,
I love the fact that spiders sitting there listening to this going, so fine, so if I floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, you'd like me, but as I'm a spider, fucking species.
Species.
Got 8 legs and jumping on people and can be fucking poisonous. And I don't know if you're not going to give me a bite or something that I'm going to feel for a long time. Anyway, so the thing with this let's forget about this, but let's just not talk about the spiders because I'm going to go hysterical before the end of this show. Anyway, do you see how professional I'm trying to be here, right? Anyway, so what I loved about this trailer was the fact that it was really kind of intimate in a way. It was giving me it's someone said here it's an actor's type of screenplay, where you have an actor something to play with, to use, to express themselves, to try new things, to focus more on the lines and the dialogue and what you can actually get out of it, and playing with all the other people, other actors that who are involved in this process. And so I would probably love to watch it just to see the technique alone, just to see the technique that they will be using, because when you don't have all this kind of like, shiny shit going on and action going on all the time and special effects and things straight in your face, making you go, oh my God. You know, when you actually have something that is going to rather demand that you go this way, but intellectually, you know, you just, your jaw's going to drop intellectually. You know, it's harder to make it happen for an actor, for a director, for a script, for a film in general. So yeah, I think it's the in a way the bravest idea that I have seen on this list, and this is why I'd like to watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it'd be something I would like to see as well. Just for those, are we still talking about the Regina King film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just in terms of the people they were, just seeing them in a room together talking about civil rights, what they're going to do about the war, how they're going to represent each other in that sense. It's a grounded film, but it's also a grounded film that is that has a lot of gravitas to it because of all the people involved in it. So I can't see this. I mean, if it was released in the cinema, I could see them advertising the shit out of that. And I don't know what's going to happen with cinemas in the next year or so, but this is something I'd really like to sit down in a theatre with other people with and just see the reactions if it is that type of film. And yeah, I take my hat off to Regina King. She's made a name for herself as this actress that was I didn't take much notice of her in the 90s, but she steadily just became this powerhouse of an actress, and her name holds a lot of gravity now in terms of working on projects. So yeah, absolutely.
During the 90s, wasn't she known for being like the perpetual teenager in like
teen
movies? So she was like a 40-something-year-old sort of teenager, but looked actually quite young, you know, much more so than sort of like Stockard Channing did as Rizzo, the 17-year-old.
Yeah.
So, but it's, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the trailer. I didn't realize there was a trailer. It'll be the first thing I'll be doing after this is to watch that, because I think, again, it sounds like an amazing film. It sounds like intellectually it's going to be, you know, as you say, it's going to be an actor's movie. It's going to be Oscar bait. It's going to be stunning, but it's all going to work or fail, not just on obviously the direction and the dialogue, which is going to be very important, especially when that's really all there is. But as long as they've got the casting right and the actors are good enough to portray these, you know, absolutely infamous and not infamous, but famous and stunningly sort of important characters, without going into character, especially with, say, Muhammad Ali, it's going to be even harder to portray without sort of doing a caricature of him. And as long as they do that, I think, you know, it's going to be an amazing film. But if they've cast it wrong or sort of directed it wrong to the extent where it seems a little bit caricaturous, it just might be a little bit sort of cringy to watch in the sense. But yeah, as long as there's none of that, I think it'll be a stunning film. So
yeah. Has anyone got any two more cents to say on that? 2 pence, 2 cents. And is it Sach?
No.
Okay. Okay. Guys, I'm just. Do you mind if we cut the last one and then move it on to the next episode?
I just wanted to get really pissed off about the fact that we are not going to have another, say, for instance, the Riddler movie or whatever. I wanted to get pissed off about it. Why the fuck do we have to have Mr. What?
Mr. Freeze.
I think we all just agree on that.
Like, there isn't enough of Batman super fucking villains that you could make a movie about.
I just read this and all I could hear in my head is, "You're not taking me to the cooler."
So in context for people listening, the Batman producer Michael Olsen, who's basically produced every Batman. Basically, without him, you would not have Batman over at Warner Brothers. He's the guy that bought the film rights or acquired the film rights from DC before they were sold to Warner Brothers back in the 70s, and he wanted to produce a Batman movie, and then turned out a bad deal for Warner's because he had the rights and they didn't. He's kept the rights, but he's a huge Batman fan, and he got the 1989 movie going, and then obviously, you know, they've been going on ever since. He's a really big fan of the animated series, the Batman animated series, and the way they did the origin story in that, but he would like to see a version of that animated version, but as a live action, but centered from purely on Mr. Freeze's point of view. I've seen the episode. It's all right. It never made me go, oh my God, we need it from this point of view. But hey, I guess if Joker worked, why not? I do admit no one really thinks of Mr. Freeze straight away. And if I was to go back when I was a kid growing up and Batman movies were a thing, and before Arnold got cast, I always thought Patrick Stewart would make a good Mr. Freeze. That was back then in the 90s.
Well, at least you'd believe him as a scientist.
Yeah, I mean, now if you were to get Mr. Freeze, I'd probably pick Mark Strong because he's got physicality about him, as well as he kind of fits the build of what the character, of what the character would have been. There's loads of actors I would think would probably do a really good job. But obviously, I think because Arnold was cast, everyone's got that image. You know what I mean? A lot of people have that image, and I just remembered when Arnold was cast, I was like, really? I can't picture this at all. And then when I did, I didn't think Arnold did a bad job with the script that he got and the fact that he's Arnold. I just look at that role as a very comical fucking take on it, and in a really dreadful movie. But he's not Mr. Freeze at all. The other version of Mr. Freeze I think of is probably the 1960s version. You know what I mean? Because there was in the 1960s Adam West version, he was like
slightly less camp than Arnold.
But
honestly, I mean, let's put aside Arnold and the casting and all the rest of it. Just tell me, guys, seriously, other than Catwoman and Joker who else out of the supervillains in Batman movies would you like to see to have their own standalone film?
I'd like to see the Condiment King, and that's genuinely a thing. He has ketchup and mustard. He's genuine. They were really dragging the barrel the day they came out with that. But
King Tut. I'd like to see a King Tut movie.
You're trying to break my heart, Greg, before we just, finish this podcast today.
No, I agree 100% with you. I just think that the Joker works because it's a deranged person who's got a clown thing, and that's one thing. But yeah, they're not all winners, and some of them are just, they go back to that 1950s, 1960s thing where we were very kind of came up with these broad ideas, and some of them were great. It's the reason it's hard to make a good Fantastic Four movie, because then one's invisible, one stretches, one's on fire, one's a rock, and it's like there's no way that not being a little bit hokey and dodgy. And whereas it's sort of Spider-Man and Batman, especially Batman, he's got real gravitas. But yeah, Joker's brilliant, but you just don't need a guy that's cold and has a freeze gun ray. It's just a little bit like you can't make that cool. You can't make that contemporary. You certainly couldn't do it.
It's already fucking cool. You don't need to make it cool. It's already cool.
Yeah, ironically, it'd be the one that'd be very uncool. But yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, we're going to put that in the cooler.
Yeah, let's do that.
Get to the chopper.
I'd rather see another, Catwoman, another attempt to make a good Catwoman film, or the Riddler, or what's the other one, the bird thing?
Penguin.
Yeah. This is a brilliant idea, like for a supervillain film. This is the closest to the Joker, in my opinion. So I'd rather go for this than Mr. Freeze.
But they're all appearing. So the Catwoman and the Penguin are all appearing in the new movie. The Penguin are completely unrecognizable, Colin Farrell, which is going to be amazing. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. Okay. So they're all appearing. Which is
Colin Farrell does not look like
anything like
Sach?
Shiny vampire in it, so I'm gonna have to get over that first. Anyway, I think that the Penguin is something that I'd like to have. I'd like to see as a standalone sort of superhero, villain hero movie. I'd like to see that, and just this would be amazing, in my opinion. This would be. It has a potential to be another Joker film, in my opinion, and I quite like the one with Phoenix in it. I fucking loved it, actually. So yeah, it would be, in my opinion, it would be good to see that rather than some Mr. Freeze, whatever shit. Like, freeze your ass on this one.
Just cheesy and hokey. The more cheesy and hokey and stupid and fantastical and original comic booky they are, then the harder it is to make it gritty and realistic. Batman was always quite, you know, he's got that proper story. He's no superpowers, dressed like a bat. Yes, the costume's a bit hokey, but they've made it look better over the years and more. Yeah.
But this something that in general has always been like the part of the, you know, the part of the conversation. You had Marvel that was slightly more cheesy, and then you had DC that's slightly darker and a little bit more, I don't know, serious, if you could say that. But
no, I think they were both as bad as each other, really. Batman was more dark than a lot of superheroes, but most of the characters were just Marvel, and DC were just as hokey and cheesy as each other, really.
How dare you say this, Greg? We're gonna have to have a conversation.
We're not vibing anymore, are we?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
we're not vibing on this one. We're not vibing on this one. No.
I'm on the other side.
Okay. I love my superheroes. Greg,
I adore superheroes. Normally, you get me going on the MCU, and I'm just like a runaway train. But I'm just saying that I love superheroes massively, but I don't want to see, you know, if they found a way of bringing Mr. Freeze into the modern, you know, DCEU without it being too cheesy, that's fine. But he just doesn't need a standalone origin film. It's just going to be very hard not to make it really cringy and slightly thing. Whereas Joker, they just did a good job because he's a much more human and scary and realistic character.
No, but it's a character that has this capacity of drama that's sort of associated with things like the flight over the cuckoo nest or the girl interrupted, you know, that sort of thing. So I think that's why Joker can be potentially any sort of standalone film about Joker can have that potential if you have a good actor, and in this case you had one. You know, it has a potential to be an Oscar film. And I mean, as an actor, you know, if I was a dude and I was asked to play Joker, I'd be shitting myself. I'd be so happy because there's just so much material you can work with, and the challenge and the amount of work that you should put into it. So yeah, definitely.
I have more to add to this, but I think playing the Joker would you have to keep repeating the Joker. You have diminishing returns on that because how many Jokers have there been now?
Well, there's been pretty amazing too so far. Like Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger have, you know, raised the bar really high, and then you had Jared playing it in Suicide Squad, which not everybody was convinced about, but I think he did his best for the film. And then you have Phoenix playing it in the last one.
But if you take Jared Leto out of it, everyone's raised the bar from the next one. If you start with Cesar Romero, he did fun thing in the 60s things. It was hokey, but he was good fun with it. Jack Nicholson was brilliant in '89 and did a great job, and everyone was like, Heath Ledger's you're not going to be able to live up to Jack Nicholson, and he did. Then you've got all the things outside of the films like Mark Hamill, who's still considered one of the better Jokers as well. So everyone's raising the bar, and then, you know, Phoenix went, you know, I'll go do it, despite the fact that Heath Ledger is absolutely beloved as the Joker and went and did it. So yeah, apart from you know, Leto, everyone else is just done a brilliant job. But yeah, as you said, it hasn't been diminishing returns yet, but there's just really no way of getting over the bar set by Hamill, Heath Ledger, and Phoenix now. It's just, that's it. You cannot do a better one. You're just getting to the point of going like, I'm going to be a better gangster than Robert De Niro and Al Pacino now. It's just
I think they leave it for a little bit now. Yeah, definitely.
Guys, I've got to cut this because I have two of my relatives here, and
because I have live. Yes, just you allowed to say that.
No, it's a quite a deep conversation I've got to have, so I've got to go from one mode to another. So sorry to do this to you because we were getting into a thing here, so I feel bad about cutting it off.
No,
but
don't.
no,
Okay,
it's
see each other again.
Yeah, of course. It's been a good time. I've enjoyed it. First, before we go, is there anything that anyone wants to plug or promote?
I should probably do it, but I'm really shit at it. You see, because I just released my video on YouTube for my first song, so I should probably say, please subscribe to Karolina so I can get some dough to make another video. But
well, don't use the air quotes.
Good at it. So maybe we should just skip this part.
No. I'll put up a description when I put up the podcast of where your video is.
Send me the link to the video and I'll send it to Joe.
Okay.
Cool.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Am I allowed to plug my new charity that I've set up?
Yeah, go for it.
I with recent things going on, I'm very aware that there's lots of, sort of focusing on sort of people or hard done by stuff. So I've set up a charity for spiders that have had singer brutality happen to them.
Great. Seriously. I thought you had some serious shit going on there.
No, that was good.
Sorry.
I felt guilty for promoting my fucking YouTube channel because look at me.
I've promoted myself in it many a time. I've just done it.
This YouTube channel, and this guy's got a charity. And what the hell are you saying now?
I'm sorry.
Okay, Rex, you know what? We've been vibing for like half of these podcasts, but right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I don't know. You're gonna have to convince me to like you now.
Okay, right. Okay, I'll work up.
All right. No, I do like you. I do.
On that note, that was good, Greg. I like it. Thank you very much. Very good match. Sach, anything to promote?
Not today.
Okay. In that case, you can find this podcast on YouTube and anywhere else that is, apart from Spotify, I think, that does podcasts. So go look for it. It's Zedos Gang. Just put it into any browser that you're looking at, and you should come up with something. I don't really like self promoting, but
it's same as I am. You see.
Well,
easy, is it?
I don't have that in me. I would need someone else that had more of a. I don't know. I just don't have it in me. I don't like self promoting.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? It's a little bit embarrassing when you're trying to kind of promote your shit. You either watch it because you like it, you fucking don't, right?
I mean. Sometimes it's easier than others, but yeah, it's not something I do. Anyway, guys, been good having you on. I hope to do this again. This has been great. This has been very great.
I'm loving this.
Fantastic. Okay, as long as everyone's loving it.
Giving me an excuse to have more wine next time.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'll chip in to send her out a crate. We've got to do it.
Yeah. Okay, this has been the Zedos Go podcast, and we are out. Bye, guys. Go on. Do it. Come on.
I am the man that killed Jamie Lannister.